voices calling sound like strangers in the booth. We're all just trying to listen to the static and the noise, but the loudest information drowns out the quieter voice. Who do you trust? When the talk is low, who you trust? When the whispers grow in the halls of power where the secrets flow, who you trust? Tell me, who do you trust? Who you trust? Do you trust? Do you trust? Do you trust? When the whispers grow.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Political Theater, everybody. This is your host, Walter Kurt. Thank you guys for being here this evening. If you guys are listening to us on X, make sure you guys share that link out so make sure people know that we are live and ready to roll here. We've got a lot to talk about. It is Friday night. Normally we do Friday night news, but we've also got a couple of other things I want to talk about this evening. Namely, I think it's time that we really seriously consider getting rid of the filibuster. So thank you guys for showing up this evening. But there's a lot to talk about. You know, there's also The Economist has decided to write an article about how horrible and insidious it would be if there was more white children in the world. That's nice of them. Very nice people. Great people over there at The Economist. Probably one of the more disgusting articles I've seen in a while. But yeah, that happened today. We've also got the endless incessant, just continuous. There needs to be a word for this, okay? Like I have to come up with some term or something, like, you know, the endless constant discussion about Israel and like how everyone needs to talk about it all the time. Like, I'm not anti-Israel, but I'm going to have to come up with some sort of term that is people against people who talk about Israel. Like, I mean, it's like I'm anti the people who only talk about Israel. Like, that has to happen. I've got to come up with some term for it. It's just the most annoying thing in the world. There is no way that people are that interested in this singular topic as much as people talk about it, but that seems to continuously happen and is going to forever happen, apparently. It's just, it never ends. It's all everyone ever wants to talk about. We could also talk a little bit about the Megyn Kelly and the Megyn Kelly interviews that she did with both Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro, which is, you know, somewhat interesting. Not really, but I mean, we'll talk about it anyway since a lot of people are talking about it. But the big thing that I want to go over a little bit, and I'd like to get some people's opinions on it, and we'll have some open discussion on this here in a little bit, is whether or not people think that the filibuster needs to go. Now, we discussed this a little bit yesterday, and my theory on it was that if we're going to do, you know, if we're going to get rid of the filibuster, then I think that's, you know, I'm okay with it. But at the same time, I think that, you know, if we're going to go that far, I want to be sure that every single piece of the agenda is ready to go and ready to be passed, you know, the next day. Like, I don't want us to screw around at all. If we do this, if we actually go after them and remove the filibuster, then we need to go all the way. The entire Trump agenda needs to be ready to be codified immediately the second that we do that. I think that's the best way to go about it. If we're going to do this, if we're going to actually remove the filibuster and make this big of a leap, then, you know, and then, but at the same time, I could see what the Democrats are thinking right now. The Democrats are thinking that they're emboldened because of these elections and they think they have some sort of leverage. I don't think they have any leverage here. And I don't want people to read too far into this because to me, nothing really has changed other than the fact that, sure, we lost 2 elections. I mean, but at the same time, it's not like we were expected to win by either of these elections, and it's not that big of a change, and it doesn't change anything to do with the power structure in D.C. right now. It's not like this is a midterm. It's not like we lost a bunch of seats in the House or something. None of that stuff matters. So I think right now what we need to do is we just need to move forward with the agenda. We need to start getting some stuff done. We need to start getting some points up on the scoreboard. I think that's the biggest way to think about it. We need to get the economy rolling. We need to stop screwing around with this government shutdown. We need to stop letting the Democrats just continuously run over top of us with this. You know, they don't have any power right now, and we're letting them act like they do. And that should not be the way that this goes down. So we need to deal with this problem. We need to fix this problem. We need to move on. We need to get the government shutdown dealt with. I mean, I'm seeing people talk about this Thanksgiving Day travel stuff. Like, okay, maybe that's going to be a big deal. But to me, I'm more concerned about actually getting the agenda move forward. Like, the government shutdown's one thing, but at this point, it seems to me that the Democrats are not going to work with us on anything at all. Doesn't matter what happens. And I wasn't expecting them to, but at the same time, it's time for us to actually start getting some points on the scoreboard. We need to start seeing some stuff happen. We need to start seeing the economy get moving. We need to start seeing the agenda move forward, because at this point, people are going to start getting pissed. We're almost 10 months into this administration. We've only got a little bit left before we're a year in. And as I said back in January, when this administration first started, if things don't start happening within the first year, tangible things, then we can actually point to, then I'm going to start getting a little mad about it. And I think it's time. I'm seeing, there's other rumblings. So someone like John Solomon was talking about the fact that Pam Bondi was not able to move the ball forward on some of these indictments. Maybe she's not the right person at the DOJ. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. I've said for a while now that I didn't think Pam Bondi was going to make the cut the whole way through. There's a number of other people in the administration I think are just on their A game, and I just never thought that Pam Bondi was on her A game ever, really. I just never saw her as that. I always saw that my comment back a few months ago was that, even if she's good, the difference is that everybody else is an Olympic swimmer and she's like drowning in the shallow end with floaties on. So like, we just need to start moving forward. We've got to get some things done. We actually have to get the agenda rolling. And if that means we have to get rid of the filibuster, I think we need to. And the other side of this is, the people that want to make some sort of argument about the filibuster, whether or not we need it or not, I still would say that for a fact that the Democrats, if they got the filibuster, if they had the ability to, they'd get rid of it. In fact, they already tried to. They already tried to get rid of the filibuster. So let's not pretend that they wouldn't. They 100% would. I mean, there's no question about that. They already tried to. They were only stopped because Joe Manchin and Senator were in the way. They don't have that block anymore. If they take the Senate back, they take power back, they will absolutely go forward with removing the filibuster. So I think it's time for us to actually move forward with the agenda. I think it's time for us to actually get this out of the way. Because right now, what they're going to do is they're just going to handcuff. They couldn't get Trump and they couldn't throw him in prison. They couldn't get rid of him. So they're going to try and handcuff his agenda just by shutting the government down and not letting anything happen. And they're not going to let anything pass through the Senate. And if that's the case, then we need the agenda to be moved forward. And if that requires us actually moving away with the filibuster, then so be it. So be it. I mean, I think it's time for us to actually move forward. Like we need to actually get some things done. We need to get some points on the scoreboard. After the election results on Tuesday this past week, I mean, it just, to me, I don't, like, we can't sit there and dwell on that forever. We need to get some stuff done. We need to actually have some stuff done so that way when we move into the next year and we move into the midterms, we have points on the scoreboard that we can tell the American people that that's what's happening. I mean, that's the way they're going to go. Let's see, 24 Republicans said they wouldn't get rid of the filibuster. We are doomed. Well, I don't know. I mean, how many, like you're saying, so frosted sheet 3124. So I haven't seen that yet. Send that to me. I'd like to see where that comes from. I don't know. I'd be very interested to read that. There's the possibility of getting rid of the filibuster at this point. I don't know why the Republicans would, what their hesitation would be at this point. What are they hesitating about? What are they worried about? The Democrats would do it to us. That's not really a question. I don't think anybody questions that. Like to me, maybe they're just too weak and they can't figure it out. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. But if that's the case, then we need to figure out how to do something. Okay, like we need to get moving on the agenda in any way that we possibly can. And if they're going to keep the government shut down forever, then we've got to find something. We got to do something. So I don't know. Thune. I don't know. People are talking about whether or not Thune is actually doing this intentionally. He's going to work with the Democrats and come up with some sort of compromise. I don't know. To me, I just don't see enough stuff happening. We need to start seeing some stuff happen. I know we've had some big wins. Now, the other side of this is I get very annoyed when I see a lot of people sitting here saying that we haven't had any wins whatsoever since this administration's open. Like, guys, yes, we have. Okay, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay, we have definitely had some wins in this administration. That's no question about it. Okay, he shut the border down instantaneously. We completely gutted USAID. USAID has been shut down. All of this stuff has still happened. So there are some great wins that have happened, and we're seeing some indictments. I saw something earlier today. We're talking about moving forward with the indictment on Brennan. That needs to happen. Okay, but the deal is that we need to actually start seeing some people have some real consequences. That's what I want to see happen. Like, indictments are great. We need to do some more stuff, but we need to get rolling. It's crunch time. We only have a year before the midterms. We need to have some points on the board before we move into it. So, we've got to do something. That's the deal with it. So, anyways, welcome to the show, guys. Thank you guys for being here. If you're listening to us on Apple, Spotify, Rumble, Substack, YouTube, wherever you guys are listening to us, thank you guys for showing up this evening. If you'd like to join the show and ask questions, or if you'd like to come up here and make comments, you are welcome to do so. I'm going to since I'm moving into the scenarios and I haven't had a co-host most of this week, so the way that I'm just going to do this is if you guys want to come up, I'm going to do this kind of as a call-in show. You guys are welcome to come up here and join the show as we move through this. There is some content I'd like to go over. Namely, I do want to talk about this ridiculous article from The Economist. So let me just read this to you here. I'm going to pull this up on the screen so you guys can see what this ridiculous article says here. So this is the headline on it, right? With Trump and Vance in power, many pro-natalists believe this moment is to jumpstart baby making. But some critics see pro-natalism as part of an insidious project to create a whiter America. I mean, what? Like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, that's going to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. Like, I mean, I saw this earlier today. I was like, good Lord, like insidious project to create a whiter America. That is like, our replacement rate is below like what it needs to be, right? It's not even a 2.1, which it should be. Okay. So our replacement rate is low. Having more children is a good thing. And according to this, the biggest problem is if there's white children. Like, you people, like, what is the matter with you guys? Like, I mean, it's just like reading something like that. Like, who writes this headline and thinks that this is a good idea? Like, who thinks that is a smart headline? That is a fair headline. That, like, it's almost like it's like intentional rage bait. That's kind of what I look at it as. Like, it's what I almost would think about that as. But my goodness, how dare we have white children? Like, I mean, imagine if there's like, oh my, they're worried about insurrectionists. What about if there was like a double stroller? Like, oh no. Like, I mean, just Jesus. It's so insane. But this is what these people think. How dare you have children? Don't have children. You're supposed to be, all women are only supposed to be, they're supposed to book 2,200 workable hours at a law firm and work for a widget factory. Like, the women aren't supposed to be at home. They're not supposed to have any kids. They're supposed to be, miserable working in jobs their whole lives that they don't even want with no kids. Like, that's what they want, I guess. Like, it's insane to me. The idea that we need to be we're still attacking families and the idea of having children is crazy to me. The one thing I will say about there's a lot of people that talk about who you listen to in politics. The one thing I do listen to I really do pay attention to for when I'm looking at commentators is, do they have children? Do they talk about children? And do they talk about families? It's like those three things. Those three things matter more than almost anything, because if you have kids, you're invested in the future, no matter how you look at it. You're 100% invested in the future if you have children, because you care about your kids and you want them to move forward. If you don't have any kids and you're talking about politics and you're talking about the world, you're not as invested in the future as parents are. You just aren't. So the idea that we need to have less white children or just less children in general is a very, very evil concept. It is. It's a very evil concept. Not a fan of it at all. I don't like people that do that. I don't like anybody that tries to talk about things like that. To me, it's insane. But the Economist over here, it's an insidious project to create a whiter America. Everybody is aware of the mass immigration issue that we've had in this country, and that immigrants are having far more children than regular Americans are in this country. So having more Americans having American children is a bad thing. Just tell us that you want more of the mass migration a different way. I mean, that's all this is. That's all they're talking about. Don't have any more kids. Make sure that only immigrants have children in our country. Apparently, that's what the Economist says. But what nice people? What gross people? Whatever. This is just obvious rage bait to try and talk about that. Like, get people to talk about this stuff. That's what it seems like to me. Continuous rage bait, obnoxious as hell. But whatever. We'll see here. Okay, we got somebody that's requesting here. I don't know who's requesting. Who's this? Johnny Bravo. Okay, what's up, Johnny Bravo? What's up, Johnny Bravo? If it is loading, I guess. I can't tell if he's on stage or not. There we go. And what's up, Jacktron? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Been, just reminiscing about everything that's been going on this week. And, I'm just trying to figure out a way forward.
Yep. Well, I think this week showed us a couple things. It showed us that we need to pay a lot more attention to the elections that are coming up. We need to get a lot of stuff done. But at the same time, we also I think the biggest thing is we really, really, really need to get points on the scoreboard. That's what I think. That's what I think more than anything we need to.
I wanted to say, I think Trump needs to change his tweeting narrative message that to Republicans are keeping the government closed, denying SNAP benefits to the country because they refuse to nuke the filibuster. He needs to turn it over and say, you know what? It's really not the Democrats. The Republicans have the power. They could nuke the filibuster, so they're actually the ones keeping the government closed because we could open it immediately. We have the, you know, and change the narrative, you know.
Not a bad idea. I mean, putting pressure on the Republicans, I think, is the smart decision. I mean, I think we just need to get some stuff done. Like, I mean, I think that's the deal. We had a big loss this week, so we need to actually have some points on the scoreboard. That's the big deal. That's what I really think is going on. What's up, Chris? What's happening, man?
Hey, I think that's a great idea, actually, what Johnny Bravo said. The Republicans didn't do what they needed to do to win a very important election. And I don't think Trump owes them. If they're not going to, if they lied to their voters and said, hey, we're going to fast track, and now we know that that's not the case. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's had some wins and they've delivered on some things. But if they're going to play games, then he needs to go on offense and put pressure on them. And if Trump puts pressure on them, they will act because the base will push against them. So I think that's actually a really good idea, Johnny.
I think it's a smart decision. I think that makes sense. I mean, actually pressuring the Republicans in a different way is a good decision. I think that's a good way to go about it. I mean, just doing anything we can to actually push pressure to actually get some things done. I mean, the deal is that the Senate Republicans, if there's someone said a minute ago that there's 24 of them that already said they won't move forward with getting rid of the filibuster, weakness is all I see from that. Like, you guys, the Democrats are just playing a different game, and this is what we were talking about like most of this week, that they're just playing a whole different game than the Republicans. And I don't know what it takes to get these people to wake up. At this point, what does it take to get them to understand the moment that we're in? I have no idea. Like, I don't know if you can't see that the Democrats are playing a completely different game than us and that we need to start fighting fighting for real. Like, at this point, I don't know what's going to wake you up. I don't think anything's going to, and I just have to say that you probably just don't care.
I feel like we're are the biggest enemies of America aren't the Democrats, really. It's the rhinos. Like, for example, a senator entered the bill today or yesterday to deny Congress members their paycheck until the government's open, but Rand Paul voted no on it. Like, the fiscal stickler sits there and votes to give everyone the paychecks even with the government shut down. I mean, the rhinos right now, I feel, are our biggest issue.
Yeah, well, and this is what my thing is, that it seems to me that the rhinos actually just want to wait Trump out. That's what they're kind of, it seems to me, that's why I think the filibuster needs to go, or we need to find some way to move forward with the agenda, because if these people are going to try and just wait Trump out, then they're not going to move on the agenda at all. They're not going to move on the agenda at all. And I think we can't do that. Like, we have to get some stuff done, because if we don't get everything accomplished, if we don't get points on the scoreboard, if we don't accomplish something by the time we get to, midterms and then 2028, then the Democrats will retake power. And if we don't get anything done during Trump's presidency, then 2028, they might have a chance at winning the presidency. So we have to put some points on the scoreboard.
Well, the filibuster is not in the Constitution. Nowhere. It's a rule made up as a power grab by senators in the 1800s. And so it's like you're not shitting on the Constitution by eliminating the filibuster. It was not even in the Constitution. So the founders never thought that we should have the filibuster. They didn't. And so I'm wondering why everyone's trying to stand on the principles type bullshit talk. They really need to, understand that was just a rule made by senators, and rules can be changed.
Well, I mean, the filibuster has not been something that's been part of the Constitution. Obviously, it's not a piece of the Constitution. It's true, but it has been a longstanding thing that's been in there for a long time now. I mean, it's been decades of us having the filibuster. But the deal is that it should be used as a scenario where it's not designed for political pressure, where you keep the government completely shut down. So you can try and pressure the sitting president, even though he has both Senate and House and was just put in office with a popular mandate. I mean, that's not what it was designed for. I don't think it was, at least. I don't think that's true. I think that it's being weaponized, and the Democrats are weaponizing the idea of the government shutdown so that they can try and hamstring this administration, because it's the only thing they have. It's the only thing they have. But to me, I don't know. I mean, I think it's time that we actually move forward. We start doing some stuff, because if we don't, The Democrats are going to retake power and they're going to use it, and they're going to get rid of it immediately. They'll move forward with every single obstacle that they'll make DC a state, they'll make Puerto Rico a state, they'll do all sorts of stuff. They'll pack the court, they'll do everything they possibly can. So I think it's time we need to put points on the scoreboard. And the Republicans that don't want to do this, that want to be squishy about this, we can't get rid of it. What happens if the Democrats retake power? Like, why are you even asking that? Like, why are you asking that? You know what the Democrats will do. Because have they ever given you any inclination that they won't? That's the other thing. Like, have they? Has there ever been a scenario where they don't give you that inclination? Like, I don't see that. Does anybody have any belief at all that they won't do that? I don't believe that at all.
It's also a fundamental misunderstanding of history, not like ancient history here. We're not going back to the Constitution days, right? The Revolution days. We're going back to 2013. What has stopped the Trump agenda other than slow walking in the United States Senate? Okay. What has stopped the Trump agenda? Like the deportations, the cuts to USAID. We can go down the list of what all this is, right? It's activist judges, correct? Obama appointed activist judges. And how did these judges get appointed to these benches? Not all of them, but a significant amount of them were appointed in 2013 because Harry Reid invoked the nuclear option. And the nuclear option put all of these folks on the courts. They didn't invoke it for the Supreme Court, but what it does is it takes from 60 to 51, a simple majority, and he rammed through all of these appointees, and he rammed through his agenda in the Senate.
I remember that.
That happened. We can't sit here and pretend like that didn't happen. And it's almost double insulting to have these same judges who were put on there from the nuclear option, ransacking the agenda, thinking they're president in the United States and that they're kings of the United States. And then you have these Republicans pretending as if this has never been done before. We can't break the rich history of the United States Senate when their butts were literally in the same seats in 2013 when Harry Reid invoked the nuclear option.
That's right. I mean, let's not forget that they tried to do it again when they got blocked by Manchin and Sinema. Like, and it's not like this is something that hasn't happened. That they will, because they've already tried. Like, they already tried to get rid of it. So it's like it's not like this is not something that's not going to happen. They've already attempted it before.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, Chuck Schumer literally said that the judges that they were appointing were actually to help serve as a hedge against Trump, and he was very open about it. But there's almost 420 Obama and Biden appointed federal judges, so it would have to be list all 420 and just do one block vote to impeach them all at the same time, because
impeaching them is a whole different scenario. Like, he's talking about the way that they were put in there, which is by the nuclear option, which is by simple majority. I mean, that's what he's talking about for that. You can't. I don't think impeachment is done by the same process. But yeah, I mean, the deal is that, and it's a lot more than 400. I think I went through the numbers a while ago. I think 2/3 of all of the district judges in the country were appointed by Biden or Obama.
Well, you can bet that the first thing that they're going to do when they get the majority, and if they were to get the majority in the Senate, I'm not convinced that they will, but if they were, they would invoke the nuclear option and immediately expand the Supreme Court. That's probably the first thing that they would do. And then they would.
Well, I mean, you're already seeing James Carville coming out saying that.
Jackson, let me finish real quick. They're not hiding this. James Carville and every single Democrat consultant and politician has clearly said that they're going to expand the Supreme Court, that they are going to make DC a state, they're going to make Puerto Rico a state, they're going to make sure redistricting goes their way, they're going to eliminate the Electoral College, and it'll be a popular vote going forward. These are all the things that they have literally said that they are going to do. And unfortunately, people are not. I think people think that they're bluffing. I am not thinking that they're bluffing. They are telling you exactly what they are going to do, because that
That's right.
is what socialists do.
But I mean,
Socialists
and
do what they're going
that's
to do.
what's crazy about this, Chris. Is like, how many times did they have to tell you what they're going to do before? And like, believe them, just believe them. They're good. They're telling you what they're going to do. Just believe them, for love of God. By the way, I have something right here that I just want to bring up because this is hysterical. This is from Delusional Takes. This is apparently. This is just it's something most ridiculous. Someone just sent this to me, so I just pulled it up and started laughing at it. So this is on Delusional Takes here. I'm a straight guy and I have sex with guys once or twice a week. That's normal straight behavior, apparently. That's a very interesting post there, dude. I'm not real sure if that's normal. I'm not sure where that comes from, but that is not normal straight behavior. Just to be very, very clear, most straight men do not have sex with men twice a week. Just to very clear that out there, so make sure we're all very, very, very clear that is not normal straight behavior. But okay, anyway, so we can move on. I just thought that was the most ridiculous. Someone just sent that to me, and I was just like dying laughing.
Hey, Walter, could I add something?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, what my feelings have been about the nuclear option, but listening to some spaces today and thinking about it, I've started to change my mind a bit. And by the way, that today again, they tried to fund or pay essential workers, which would include air traffic controllers, et cetera, which they voted down. And there's a lot of talk. I mean, they talk about, well, the holidays are coming up, but what we forget about is it's getting to the point, and there's a lot of talk that if they had to shut down a lot of air traffic, it's not just travelers. And I think what the Democrats are trying to do is to tank the economy, and it is possible. I mean, my feelings. I don't. A government shutdown isn't that big a deal, but the fact that they're not paying these essential workers, like TSA, ICE, all these people, and they're not getting the economic data that these financial people need either. And if that's, I think that's now. I think the Democrats have been emboldened by thinking that these elections meant more than they did. But if they tank, if they tank the economy, they just want to destroy Trump's term. And I think maybe we need to, invoke the nuclear option just to open the government. It is getting to the point that it's going to be serious. And, that sort of made me think a little more that the nuclear option may be something that needs to be done.
I think they.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
So again, I don't think it's a problem for us to get rid of the filibuster right now. The question is, will the Republicans actually do it? Will they actually do it? Because, to me, it doesn't appear that they want to. To me, it doesn't appear that the rhinos in Congress and the rhinos in the Senate actually have any interest in getting the agenda across the line. That's the real problem I think we're in right now. And I don't know how we fix that. If we can't get anything done because the Senate is going to be, they're going to fight Trump just like they did before, but they're just going to fight in a different way. It appears to me that they're using their leverage against Trump in any way they can because Trump is actually getting things accomplished on the administrative side. And this seems to be a solid way to stop him from doing anything. They just don't fund the government. I don't know. The Democrats are making a lot of headway for a party that is not in power. I'll say that.
I truly believe, that Thune is just a mini McConnell. I mean, I think he's the big roadblock, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's obvious. Okay. Like Thune does not like Trump. Thune is McConnell's replacement. I mean, he's the one that he picked him. So, and we really do need to deal with the rhinos. That is something we have to fix. But again, the other problem is that no matter how we want to deal with it, we still have to win in 2026. And I find it very difficult for the Republican Party to win in 2026 if we can't get anything accomplished until 2026. I mean, we need to get something done. We need to put points on the scoreboard. Trump can do everything he can from a level of administratively, he can do all the things he wants. But at the end of the day, if we don't codify any of this stuff, none of it matters.
I hope that they at least the Republicans. I hope Thune at least calls the filibuster to a vote so we can get a clear record of who to start, yelling loudest to.
I think that's a good idea.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously the first person that we're going to be yelling at is Rand Paul, the biggest fraud in Senate.
Yeah, well, for Rand Paul is ridiculous. Okay, the fact that he was like, no, we need to pay, make sure we're still paying legislatively. Like, oh my goodness, dude. Like, I thought you were the fiscal guy. So, like, I'm so tired of the libertarians. Okay, like the libertarians have just proven themselves that they are not in any way helpful for us. Like, I mean, like Rand Paul spent his whole time the past few weeks talking about the drug boats. Like, oh my God, they need special due process for drug boats being blown up. Like, no, they don't. Okay, let's just, how about no? Like, let's just kill them. And I loved Trump's response on that, by the way. He's like, no, we're just going to kill those people. They're going to be like dead. And I loved that. That was perfect. Yes, that is exactly what we should do to the drug boat people. Just blow them out of the water. No one cares. Stop complaining about it. Kill them. Kill them all. I mean, we need to stop playing around with that stuff. But I don't understand why he's so hesitant about doing that. Like, what would... Why? Why are you so hesitant about dealing with drug boats in the Caribbean? Like, what is it about the drug boats that you're so invested in? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. But again, until we get the shutdown over with, there's not much we.
Reason.
No, well, I mean, you never know. But at the end of the day, none of this matters right now. I mean, what are we going to do right now? Because currently the government's still shut down. Government's still shut down. Trump's agenda can't really do a whole lot. The Democrats are completely stonewalling in the Senate. We're not getting anything through the Senate because they won't do anything. They won't work with anything. They won't let the agenda move forward, and they're going to try and wait them out. They've only got a year. They've only got a year to try and wait things out.
I think they want to hinder his ICE deportations too. I mean, when funding for those agencies run out, they'll really hamper his ability to deport people unless they're running off of government impoundments from when they catch people and book them for deportation. If they impound their assets, maybe they could keep operating off of that. But,
maybe, I don't know. I mean, there is a number of people that think that it's possible that, maybe we're not actually, the Republicans are just trying to handcuff Trump too, that they don't want to do anything. Like, they just don't want to get anything done. The Uniparty is all working against Trump. That kind of tracks, to be honest with you. So I don't know. But at this point now, we need to put something up on the scoreboard. Guys, make sure you guys share this space out. This is the Political Theater. Thank you guys for being here this evening. I got my co-host here, Chris, and Jacktron's also another rotating co-host here. Thank you guys for being here this evening. Make sure you guys share the link out to know people we are live. We're just going to hang out this evening. We're going to talk about some of the news of this week. We're going to go over I think that it's time for us to get rid of the filibuster. I mean, it's time for us to do something. I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, to me, I think if you got rid of it, you have the opportunity to actually get the agenda passed legislatively. And then even if the Democrats somehow retake the Senate and everything, then if we have the presidency, then we can veto their bills. So it's not like it's completely out of there. And it's not like they can pass whatever legislation they want because whoever the president is still has to sign the bills. But I mean, to me, I think it's time we do something. I mean, it's just, I don't know what someone's got to send me that article or whatever it is saying 24 Senate Republicans said they're not going to sign on to it because I haven't seen that yet. And I haven't seen any true signs that would say that that's true. But I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know. I haven't seen that yet, though. So I'd love for someone to send that to me if you have it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
I mean, but this is another thing here. So like Scott Pressler is even talking about it. He say if you don't nuke the filibuster, then you're stuck with mail-in ballots. This is what my point is. Like, if you nuke the filibuster, you actually have the opportunity to pass the SAVE Act. You've got the opportunity to pass the agenda. You've got the ability to make mandatory voter ID in all states. Like, there's a bunch of things that can happen if this happens. But the only hang up I have on it is if we are going to go that far, then I want all of that stuff ready to go within a week. Like, it needs to be moved forward immediately. No waiting around, no screwing around. Like, it just needs to be done. Like, if we are going to go and get rid of the filibuster and start passing stuff, then we need the whole agenda to be codified almost immediately. We can't wait around at all. Otherwise, I mean, if you don't, like, people are going to lose faith in the agenda and everything else if you don't get something done, is what my thought is. But, the Republicans, if they're just going to sit there and screw around, they're going to lose the midterms. So, we already talked to this earlier this week. We were talking about what we need to do to win the midterms. And I think we need a huge ground game. We need to actually get a lot of things done. And the RNC, to me, is a useless organization. Yeah, Desi Design on one of our streams here is saying that nobody's voting for Republicans who do nothing. And you're right. Nobody likes the Republicans themselves. It's Trump who's popular. And I did love listening to people try and argue that it was Trump that caused the election losses. Like, I mean, I don't think so. I think that Trump is the only reason that they ever win the election like the elections for the Republicans. I
It
think.
was even more entertaining to think that they were trying to blame Israel for the election loss.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen. The people like, and I said this at the open of the show. I'm going to have to come up with a term for this. Okay, I am now officially standing that I am anti anybody who talks about Israel all the time. Like, I need a name for it.
Israel derangement syndrome.
No, because there's some people that like Israel. That's like I'm talking about on either side of this argument. I don't like either of you. Like, I hate you both. You're annoying. Like, you're extremely annoying. Like, and you only talk about Israel. Like, you go on people's feeds, and that's all they talk about all day long. I like it. I hate it. You're a Zionist. You're not a Zionist. You're an evil person. You only like. I mean, you want forever wars. Like, I mean, just shut up. My goodness. Like the one thing I'll say. You know how people talk about like they both accuse each other of being paid. Like, it's hysterical. One says that you're getting $7,000 from Israel. The other one says you're getting Qatari money. Like, it's so stupid. But like, I'll tell you one thing. There's got to be somebody who's getting paid in this scenario, because there is no freaking way that people talk about this as much as they do, because it is insanely boring. Like, can you be more boring? Like, can you only, like, if you only talk about that all day long, every single day, like, how is it possible? Like, you cannot be that boring of a person. Like, I mean, there's like, if I go and sit in your room and talk to you in person, do you like within 3 sentences, do you start asking my opinion on Israel? Like, is that how that works when people talk to you in person? I highly doubt that. Like, I doubt it, but that's all you talk about on your feed. So, again, I've got to come up with some term for it. Like, I haven't branded it yet. I'm going to have to come up with some branding or something for it, because I am against all people who only speak about Israel. Like, I hate you all. You're annoying. Every single one of you. You suck. You suck. It's just so boring and stupid to constantly talk about the same thing every single day, all day long. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's only talk about Israel. Shut up. My goodness, people. It is so insanely annoying that I need a name for it. Like, there's got to be a name for it. I have to come up with the term people against the people who only talk about Israel. Like, that needs to happen. Like, it's just necessary at this point. It's like, there's no way that this dominates your life as much as you make it out to be. But like, it's what people talk about all day long. It's like, oh God, shut up, please, for the love of God.
It's one of the things I appreciate about my friend Stealth. She obviously she has a space. She built the space because she is obviously of Jewish faith, and her son is goes to Israel obviously, and all these things. But what I love about her space is that she always talks about America first. She always talks about Trump. She has her takes, those kinds of things. And I love that because it's genuine. It's out there, right? Like, this is long before President Trump was ever elected, right? And it's kind of like the go-to space. There are, though, the folks who have built their following being, quote, MAGA, and now they're focused solely on Israel.
No, it's
And
just
that's the problem.
it's just so it's just so annoying to me. Like how can you not have something else to talk about? Like, I don't believe it. Like, I don't believe, like, you can't be that boring. You cannot be.
You're gonna talk about
But,
it, Walter. Like, talk about the wins. If you were so for pro President Trump, pro MAGA, all those things, just talk about the wins too.
yeah, well, I mean, like people want like, but I'm talking about the people that like their entire existence is talking about this. Like, it's so annoying. Like, it's like you don't ever have anything else to talk about. George, what's happening, man? Good to see you this evening.
George, are you there?
George, can you hear us?
I am. I was just quote tweeting back at Milo to be shut the fuck up. Anyway, sorry. I was on a FaceTime call with him earlier. Real quick. Chris, everybody, I love you guys. I'm sorry yesterday I kind of had to run and I didn't even say bye.
That's okay, George.
I had to drop, but
you had to get your hair. You got some blonde hair now, George?
God, no. Why is everybody asking that? I guess it's because of the black and white effect, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
So no, but everybody kept saying it, so I said I'm feeling blondish.
There you go.
So no, but Walter could be the blonde, the notorious blonde in spaces. It's cool. We can leave it to Walter.
There we go.
But here's the deal. On the Israel topic, quite frankly, I'm going to say something that's a little not PC, a little bit breaking form. I have Israeled out my vernacular is just like I can't do it anymore. But not pro or anti. I've never been anti, but pro even. I'm just there's so much to talk about, and I just feel like whether you're pro or anti-Israel, people are allowing Israel to dominate too much of their life,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I'm kind of like just over it personally. I don't know what people are going to call me, but I might just become anti-Semitic for saying that. I don't know, but I'm just over it.
Listen, George, you're on the same page as me, dude. Like, this is what I was just talking about. I was saying I need a new term. Like, we need to come up with a new brand for. I am anti anybody who only talks about Israel. Like I have got to come up with a word for it. Like, there's got to be something. Like, I'm anti the people who talk about Israel constantly. Like I hate you, all of you. Like, I can't hear it anymore. It is so annoying.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm exhausted. I'm not going to lie. It's fatigue. It's like it's all the Jews, or it's poor Israel, or hate the Jews, or love the Jews. I'm just like, guys,
like shut
enough.
up. Like, shut up,
It's like,
please.
shut up. It's like, honestly, I'm a Zionist and I don't spend every waking hour of my life shilling or promoting Zionism. I have my opinion and I walk away, and I think that most people should. There has to be a healthy balance in life for everything. Like even politics. I don't want to talk about politics like I used to anymore. Quite frankly, politics is uninteresting to me these days. I mean, I've seen the dirty underbelly of the beast, and personally, I really want politics to go, fuck themselves, because it's just gotten so vitriolic. Like I don't know. Look, I'm too. I think I was so consumed in the hate a couple of months ago, and now when I look back and I see how bad it was, that was anger. That was nothing but festered anger. I like to be very pragmatic about how I talk politics, and I've always been very like. I've not been coy. I've always been very straightforward when it's like I call stripes and balls when I see them, and I have very good candid conversations with Walter when we talk to each other. On the phone, and it's usually like, oh, we're doing this wrong. The Dems are doing this better. This is our Achilles heels. And if you can't have those candid conversations, and you always have to be spinning the conversation in order to I guess be a Mr. Perfect conservative or Mr. Perfect Democrat, that's why the country's in the position it is, because nobody's really willing to have candid, pointed conversations. Everybody wants to skid around the corners of the issues, and therefore, welcome to the shit show.
And George, I
Listen,
think
the
forget.
listen, George, you're 100% right about the problem with the people that want to say, "Oh, I'm going to be the perfect conservative" or something like that. Like, guys, I've had this conversation with you, George, a number of times. It's like it is time people realize that the Democrats are playing at a completely different game than we are. It is obvious. Like, it is so obvious. How can you not see it? How can you not see what happens? Like, I said this yesterday at the end of the show last night. I was ranting about this for a minute. I said, like, the Democrats right now they could elect a goldfish. They don't care. They don't care who the candidate is. It doesn't mean anything to them. The only thing that matters to them is the power they get from the win. That is it. That is the only thing they talk about. That's the only thing they care about. And to them, all that matters is them getting the power. That's it. That's all they care about. That's all they want to do. That's all they're trying to get
Money,
after. That's all
power,
they
and
care about.
attention. Walter, money, power, and attention. Those are the three currencies.
That's right.
Republicans are always playing softball while Democrats are always playing hardball.
They're not even
You,
playing ball. That's the problem, Johnny. They're not even on the field playing ball. The people forget how quickly they forget. Actually, George, how quickly they forget where we were at for 4 years, where we've been at as a country for quite a little while. They don't. They were so passionate about getting out of the Bidenomics and all of these different things, and then we win, we get a majority, and now suddenly they want to talk about other things because they already built a following. They got subscribers or whatever the reasoning is. The bottom line is nobody in the real world, few people I should say in the world. I never say nobody. Few people in the real world are focused on Israel right now. They are
yeah,
focused on the economy. They're focused on crime. They are focused. They want the border to be protected. They want illegals to be deported, but they also want to make sure that it's not just like Joe Mexican at Home Depot, but that it's actually some of these Islamo terrorists and all these other folks too. They want these things to be done, and but more than anything, I think where I love President Trump. I am one. I can't. I could not imagine having our country go back to what we just had, but worse, because that's what's going to be. Um, but there is a messaging issue happening right now in that the administration's putting a ton of stuff out. They're the most transparent in many ways. They're having these press conferences, but the Republican Party and the Republican consultants and these people are not. They're not running. They're not pushing. They're not supporting the messaging of these victories, like no tax on tips. We can go down the list of what of some of the victories that have taken place with this administration, and it's like they don't. It's like they're treating it like the cancer. And I think that the reason is because the truth is we have a disconnect between the Republican voters that elected this majority, and the 8 or 9 in the United States Senate that are from secure red states that don't care about those working folks in many respects because they were elected during the Bush Cheney Rhino days, right? They were the neocon days. So I think there's a massive disconnect, and I think that they think that that's going to go away, and that they're going to be just fine, and they're going to be there forever.
Well, I mean, I don't know what they think that like I don't know if they think they're going to be there forever, but what they clearly think is that they can wait Trump out if they don't have to do anything. I think that's a big factor here. This that they think that they might be able to wait Trump out, so they might be willing to work with the other side so they can wait him out and hope that they can go move right back to what the Uniparty was doing before. And I don't know. To me, there needs to be a major change in the way that people operate on the Republican side. And I like to me at this point, if there's things that haven't woken them up to what's really going on, to me, it seems like it's obviously intentional. I mean, like if you can't understand what's going on, it's obviously intentional.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but Walter, I want to add one thing. I don't know, Chris, if you listened in on any of it, but actually, even on stealth, there was a stealth space this morning that I listened in on a bit, and they were going over a video from some CARE conference, and it was scary because given these people were the people that supported got Mandani elected, vice versa, but they're not just the Islamic influence; it's the left. They're working with the left, the Democrats, but they are so organized. They have the ground game down. I mean, and it was emphasized in that space that the GOP, somebody's got it. We've got to get it going because they have the ground game. They have the strategic plan.
In this, listen, Paul. That's what I've been talking about for the past couple of days. Is that there must be a change for the way the Republicans do a ground game. There has to be. There has to be something done. Okay, I mean, like there needs to be a group of people that go out there and do it. And the deal is that someone's got to start funding this sort of stuff. Like, I mean, it's like, I would love to be able to go out in there and do this. And maybe in a year or two, when I actually have my media company running and everything, and it's making enough money that I can start doing that, then maybe I will. But the deal is that we don't have enough time. Like that's the problem I keep running into is I don't have enough time to build something from scratch, essentially, to be able to do this. So without funding, without people going out there and paying for it, then we need to do it. I mean, it just needs to happen.
Well,
I'm sorry,
when I compared, I said this the other night. Obama for America built an operation that pushed Obama and his agenda, right? They didn't push the DNC. They didn't push Democrats. They pushed Obama's agenda. And this is part of the difference between the Trump movement and the Obama movement. I think the Trump movement can actually capitalize and do the very same thing, and they should, because nobody's motivated by trying to push the Republican Party. Unfortunately, now there might be people in here that are Republicans and on the Republican committee, and they're going to be mad that I said this, and the same old lady that trashes me all the time is probably going to say something again. But the reality is people want revenge for what has taken place, and Trump is the vehicle for that. That's why they rallied behind him in 2015. That's why they continue to rally behind him. That's why he's got a second term. Trump is that vehicle. The 4 million more people supported him because of the message he delivered. I feel like that vehicle needs to, at this point, needs to be operating separately like Obama for America did, and then tell the Republican Party, just like Obama's for America told them, you're going to fall in line. There was no debate about that. Once he became president, and certainly by the second term, you were falling in line. And
Well,
that's
and
what
that's I think that's the deal. Is the question is, are we going to be able to get people to fall in line? Because Trump is now in a scenario where these people are clearly not working with him and not helping him, and we need to get these things over the line. By the way, so this is something that just broke, guys. Looks like the Supreme Court has now granted Trump the ability to say he doesn't have to pay SNAP benefits, which was like the fact that this was even a thing in the first place is crazy to me. Trying to say that Trump has to pay things as the executive, like that was insane to me in the first place. So I want to play this clip real quick. This just came out.
I do want to let you know we are just getting word into us here at CNN that the Supreme Court has now weighed in, granting President Trump's emergency appeal, so to temporarily halt the judge's order that the administration pay full SNAP benefits. David, we heard from you on that one. You said that they should follow. Congressman, what do you make of this from the court?
Well, look, I think those SNAP benefits.
So listen.
I think those.
They both want to jump in on the same time. Like, oh my goodness, end of the world. The SNAP benefits that were tried to be forced to be like how like this was always such a stupid case to me. Like, I know people are trying to act as if it's some sort of big deal, but like, why on earth would like a district court cannot order the executive branch to pay things? Okay, like so that's not how this works. Okay, you're just a district court. You have no ability to do that. But I mean, it's just more activist judges trying to get things done. But it's amazing to me that they still wanted to bring this up. But anyway, it looks like it's been halted for now. But I still think that at this point, we need to figure out how to move forward and actually get the government reopened. We need to do that now. I thought maybe the Democrats would actually move forward after the elections were over. But now like I thought for like a day or two that it looked like they were going to do that. But now it looks like they're emboldened by their fight mentality. Oh yes, so we're going to keep the government shut down longer. I guess it's nuts.
But Walter, they already announced today that they were going to pay full SNAP benefits for November. It may make Trump look better because they announced today that they were going to do it before this court ruling came out.
That's interesting.
This is what is where some messaging is missing here, and where how dark the Democrats are right now on this topic. Okay, the SNAP, the Trump administration right now, up until now, in my opinion, it's not. This is fact. They've been using a significant amount of funds that from the tariffs that have went into the sovereign fund. They have been using that to pay SNAP over the last month and a half, like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And so, while arguing in the courts to force the administration to pay SNAP, the Democrats have used their activist judges to what? Argue in the courts to stop the tariffs. And so, in my opinion, it's a missed opportunity on the Republican side of the aisle to point out the obvious that the President of the United States has been paying SNAP. And he's been paying SNAP while the Democrats have shut down the government with tariff money, and the Democrats want to cut off the tariff money. Why do the Democrats want to stop funding for SNAP? What is it about them? They don't want to come in and do their job. They don't want to come back and they don't want to reopen the government. And now they want to cut off funding for SNAP that's been generated from the tariffs. So what do they have against working people that need SNAP? This is going on offense. And the problem is, I don't think right now these consultants in DC, I don't think that they're even recognizing how to spin this or how to put this. And it's not even spin; it's the facts.
Yep. Well, the Supreme Court ruling on the tariff stuff, by the way, that's going to be a big ruling. Like that's going to be important. I don't know if which way they're gonna go on that. I've seen people argue both ways. To be honest with you, I listened to the oral arguments on it. I couldn't really get a read on it myself. It looked like they were asking a bunch of questions about how, if did Congress give this authority to the president, and they were. I mean, it's questionable. I mean, I don't know which way they're going to rule on that. The one thing I will say is I saw somebody's analysis. I thought it was pretty good. Is that the Supreme Court, if they were going to, if they were going to take his ability to do that away, they may not have even taken the case, but they did take the case so that they could rule on it. I mean, I don't know. That's going to be a big case regardless. I mean, I think that's just I'm very curious to see how that goes. Whether or not it's legal for the president to be able to do massive amounts of tariffs. I don't think that if the Supreme Court is paying attention, I think it's very obvious that Trump isn't doing this just to do it. He's using it as a leverage so that he can use it in negotiating tactics. That's obvious. It's very clear that that's what he's doing with it. So if they I don't understand why they would be so willing to go and axe it. But even if they did axe it, it'd be a devastating thing for them. It would completely cripple Trump's economic agenda that he's been working on. I mean, the amount of money that's coming in from tariffs is working. I mean, there's billions of dollars coming in from tariffs. And by the way, I do know that they're not going to release that ruling until June. So if they don't release that ruling until June, the amount of money that the country had been taking in tariffs would be hundreds of billions of dollars at that point. So then what do we do with it then? Take it back and send that money back? That's nuts. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it makes any sense for them to do it like that. Maybe they limit the way that he can do future things or something like that. I don't know. It would be a very interesting decision regardless of how they do that. I'm very curious to see how it goes.
Well, and it's also Trump's not the first to do this. I mean, Donald Trump's obviously doing it. Gerald Ford, Lyndon Johnson, Franklin Roosevelt, Richard Nixon. I mean, we can go down the list. I mean, they've done these things without congressional approval. And so again, this is going to be a really important ruling and a seriously important outcome for our country, because when we have basically an economy that has been sold out to China for 30 years, and now all of this is coming back to our nation, I think that it's going to be a massive blow to our country if we can't bring in that revenue.
Well, listen, it's not just going to be a big blow to our country. I think it'd be a big blow to the entire agenda of the president and the power of the president to be able to negotiate on a large scale. I mean, one of the few things the president has the ability to do is activate tariffs. I mean, it's one of the few things that actually has the ability to make a big difference and be able to operate, pretty much without any, he doesn't need some special approval to do it. He can just do it. And I think it's one of the strongest negotiating tactics he has, and especially when we've got economies that are obviously weaponized against the American people. I think that has to be taken into account. There's no way you have to pay attention to that. So, I think that is it'd be crazy for them to get rid of it completely. Will they? I don't know. I mean, who knows where they're going to go with that. Before we move on, guys, top of the hour, make sure you guys share this space out. This is the Political Theater. Thank you guys for being here this evening. Make sure you guys share this space out. Share the link out. Make sure everyone knows that we're live. If you're listening on Rumble, Substack, YouTube, X, wherever you guys may be listening to this. If you would like to join the show and you'd like to call into the show, you have to join X and go to x.com at WC Dispatch, and you can join the show, request to come up, and you're welcome to come up here and make comments. Just put your hand up when you come up here so that I know that. If you guys have something to say, my co-host here, make sure you guys follow myself and Christopher Moreno here, which is Christopher the Warrior, and make sure you follow Jacktron. Anybody that's a speaker on my panel, I usually have pretty good speakers. Make sure you guys subscribe to us. You can go to on my profile on X, and you can subscribe to me there. I have a subscription option available there, but I prefer you subscribe on WCDispatch.com. That's where this show streams live on WCDispatch.com, 9 p.m. weeknights. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you guys share it out. And I do read the comments. There's tons of comments, guys, on all the different streams. I do read those comments. If you guys have anything to say, you don't want to join the show directly, you can always leave a comment in one of the streams, and I do read them. Jacktron, you got your hand up. What's up?
So I just wanted to talk about this. There was this clip that Trump put of Trump saying he was laying out why the tariff power is imperative. And so I'm seeing this guy. You know this guy Justin Amash?
No.
No, well, I think he's this libertarian economist. He's saying, if he's a libertarian, he says MAGA Inc.'s position is that if the government steals billions of dollars from Americans through unlawful taxes and then loses in court, it would be a travesty to have to refund the stolen money because of national security or something. He says these people are basically just leftists. So I just kind of want to break that down.
Well, I mean, that's the obnoxious libertarian position is what that is. Okay, the libertarians are annoying. They're just annoying.
Member of Congress in Michigan, Walter, and he lost. But what happened was he was a quote libertarian, and then got exposed for having a company that was funded or backed by China.
Well, look, listen to me. All I heard was annoying libertarian. Okay, that's all I heard. Oh, taxes are evil. The taxes don't exist. You can just not pay taxes. Have you ever heard those idiots? This is some of my favorite people. They're like, well, if you go back and look, the taxes are actually completely illegal. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have to. And I'm like, you're one of those morons that would get thrown in contempt of court in like 8 seconds. Like you are one of those people. Like you'd go to court and you'd be like, I don't have to do that. And then the judge would be like, who are you? Like, you're so stupid. Like, I'm just going to put you in prison for a couple days just so you think about how dumb you are. Like, that's the problem I have with libertarians generally. They're very annoying people. They don't know what they're talking about. They just like to argue about things that they don't understand. It's very, very, very stupid. I'm not a huge fan of this stuff. This ridiculous argument. We don't have to pay taxes. Taxes don't exist. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. Sure. Okay, taxes have existed. You're going to pay them. Shut up.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's where the Meyer grocery store, the heir to that, what's his name, Pete, maybe, in Michigan. I think that he beat Amash, if I remember right, in a primary, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, whoever he is, he sounds like an annoying, stupid libertarian. Like,
I just responded to him by saying, like, tariffs are taxes on the imported goods, and meaning the people who make them in other countries. And then they said, like, those taxes aren't exactly on American citizens; they're on the people who make them. And he blocks me for it. Like, yeah, you're right. He's an annoying libertarian.
Well, look, the problem with the people that say all this stuff, okay, to tariffs. The people who'd pay the tariffs, the end result of it is those specific goods are then increased in price. So the people that would buy those goods are obviously, like, if you go to purchase those again, they are at a higher price because they're being tariffed. Yes, that's true. However, the purpose of a tariff is to make it so that your American economy, your American businesses can compete against people that are buying it at slave wages. That's the difference. Like, I mean, there's not really an argument to be made. Like if you're making shoes in the United States and you have to pay your workers $20 an hour to make shoes, okay? You got your shoes, you're making them at $20 an hour, but Nike is paying one slave boy in the middle of somewhere in Pangkao, China, 8 cents every 4 weeks and beating him over the head every time he doesn't make 400 shoes in a day. Like, how are you going to compete with that? Okay. Like, I mean, that's the difference. Okay. That's why tariffs work. That's what tariffs are for. They're to help protect American businesses against places that do not have the same sort of labor laws that we do. That's why they're beneficial. It's not that it's going to be cost more. It's like, no, how about you then, if you buy the shoes and the shoes now have to cost the same as an American product that costs the exact same, but now they're the even price because you're not getting slave wages to make those shoes. Okay, then maybe now you can buy the shoes from the American and it makes more sense. It's very simple. It's not a complicated concept. But, of course, the libertarians, how dare you? Shut up. The libertarians, I hate libertarians. They're the most obnoxious people in the world. I mean, years ago, I'm sure I've told this story on the show before, but years ago I worked with the Libertarian National Party, and I was trying to argue with them about what their purpose was, like how they could actually be an effective, real organization that did stuff. Because essentially what the Libertarian Party has done for a number of years is every 4 years they pull some moron out of anywhere and they run them for president. And it's the most ridiculous concept in the world. Like, we're going to try and get it. We're going to try and get them on the ballot this time. We're going to attempt it. Like, good luck. And they get like 48 states. So like, see, we almost got on the ballot and every state. Like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. I tried to tell them that if they wanted to be a serious party, what they should do, they have a national apparatus. They should fundraise nationally and then try and take like 4 or 5 Senate seats or like 10 House seats. This is, if you actually heard Elon actually bring up the exact same idea. It's the only way you could do a third party, by the way. If you wanted to have a third party and be a power player in politics, you need to take 10 seats in the House or 4 or 5 seats in the Senate, and then you control the swing. And then you're a real legitimate power broker. Like, that matters. Then you can actually force things to happen. Like, that would be the way to be a legitimate party. But no, the Libertarian Party is like, we're going to find out a way to get some person no one's ever heard of to run on the presidential ticket, and they might get on all 48 or all 50 states. Maybe this time. Like, maybe we'll do it. Like, it's a nonsensical organization full of idiots that don't have any influence and are dumb. Like, it's stupid. Like, I get very annoyed listening to these people. They're not important. They're dumb. They have no intention to actually be important. They just want to scream about how much they don't like taxes, which, good for you. There's 2 things that are certain in life. You're going to die and you're going to pay taxes. Okay, like, that's just how it's going to work. It's obnoxious as hell to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, the comments were pretty much that exact sentiment. Just yelling. It's like, oh, you clearly don't know how it works. It's like, whatever. And you're a bunch of libertarians. You don't do anything useful for anybody.
No, they don't. They've never done anything useful.
They do things useful. They do things useful for somebody, and it's called the Democratic Party. When you look at Georgia, for example, Herschel Walker's campaign, Herschel Walker would be United States Senator Herschel Walker if, 1, Brian Kemp did his job as governor, and 2, the Chase, pro-trans guy, on the Libertarian ticket wasn't on that race. And you would also look at Georgia when Trump was running. I think that was in 2020, and Chase again was the nominee for the Libertarian Party on the presidential ticket. And once again, we see what happened in places like Georgia, where the Libertarian Party takes a couple of percentage points, and it's the spoiler. And every single time, it is to help the Democratic Party.
Well, I mean, and that's exactly right. Actually, the Libertarian Party only really takes from Republicans on the ticket. Like, I mean, it does. It gives them like 2% on the ticket. Like, I mean, that's all it does. It takes away 2 from the Republicans, and like it doesn't benefit anybody at all. It only helps the Republican. It only helps the Democrat. Yes.
And Walter, just to add to that too, is like what you were saying. I just want to like actually amplify that. Is that yes, it's so easy just to complain about everything and saying like, I hate this, I hate that. But like, we still have to have solutions. Like, there's no world that we can live in from a libertarian perspective. Like, we have to have some kind of balance with this. And they provide nothing. They just complain. They tank the Republican vote every single time because they just complain and say that there's this euphoria, this utopia that we can live in a libertarian environment. It's not a serious actual plan.
Listen, the only person that's ever been successful doing actual libertarian politics at a wide scale is Milei in Argentina. Okay, but he's not really doing libertarian politics. He's doing like anarcho-capitalism is really the only way you can describe it. And I love Milei, and I think Milei has done great, but their country is in a different scenario than us. Okay, like the social programs had inflated their currency so badly so many times that it was just the country was ready for it. Okay, they had to have it. They had to have cuts. They had to do it, and they had to do it now. Otherwise, their country was going to fall apart, and the people knew that, which is why Milei, even to the great surprise of everybody, just won his midterm elections. His party just increased their majority. So
they had to go to the basement. Like they had to go all the way down for something like this to work. Like literally, they had to be in that much of a suck. So that's why, like for libertarians, they're not going to fix any. Like they're not going to fix
in America. Listen, so please, please put your hand up when you're talking in here because this show is recorded and put out in multiple different places. This is a show, not just a space, guys. I just use the space as a broadcast network so that way I can have people to come up to the show. I appreciate that though. But yes, no, that is true. The libertarians don't really have any mission, but the Milei is the only place it's ever been successful. Milei is, but he's not really running on the same sort of American version of libertarianism. It's a different idea. It's a completely different idea. I mean, he's working a lot different. He's also an economist and a brilliant person that actually has a vision for how he's going to run these things. So, Milei is going to be really he's going to be the cornerstone for people to be paying attention to how free markets can actually revitalize an economy. And I think he's going to be successful. I think he's going to be highly successful. And I think everyone needs to pay attention to that and watch that because that's the way to do it. And that's the way to bring a country back. And he's going to bring it back quickly. I mean, he's already managed to make major changes in that country. And it's paying off, obviously, because he just won. Jack John, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't realize I still had my hand up. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, guys, make sure you share the space out. If you guys want to come up here and join the show, make sure you guys request to come up here if you would like to join from any of the other streams that we are running on. If you go to x.com and go to @WC Dispatch, you can join the show. You can ask questions. If you guys have anything else to say here, you can always put the comments down below somewhere, and I always do read the comments wherever they may be. There is a number of other things to go over today. I think we need to get into some of the stuff that was been going on with Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. There was a pretty interesting exchange that's happened over the past couple days between these two people, between the people going on about this. Tucker was on first on Megyn Kelly, and he had a lot to say about how he doesn't hate Ben Shapiro, but he then proceeded to he says, I don't hate Ben Shapiro, but then he talks about Ben Shapiro all the time. And then Ben Shapiro comes on and says, yes, you do. And attacks him back. I'm getting very tired of this whole attitude of, we need to start arguing and yelling about how much we hate each other or something like that. Here's something I laid this idea out probably about a week or two ago. We live in a world now that celebrities are no longer, the big people in Hollywood. Okay. Like they're not like people see them in movies, or maybe some people are like considered big time celebrities from Hollywood, but that's not really who the celebrities are anymore. Real celebrities today are essentially social media like people or big time podcasters, and the people that are big time podcasters, like, someone like, Tucker Carlson or Ben Shapiro or Megyn Kelly. People have seen these people speaking and hearing them talk for multiple hours a day, every day, for years at this point. Okay, so they're more famous and more recognizable than any other celebrity in American history. Okay, like even big name movie stars aren't as famous as these people are. Okay, so what I think we're really witnessing, and this is the most obnoxious part about it in the world to me, is that what we're now seeing is we're seeing the creation of the next version of Hollywood gossip, and it is so annoying to watch because it's true. It's true. Like the people that argue with each other, they fight about who's got more viewers. Like, Candace Owens earlier today was talking about how she's the #1 podcast in the world. And it's like these people are just big time celebrities, and they fight with each other and they bicker with each other. And then there's the gossip that goes back and forth, and they say, well, you said this and he said that, and I don't like him because he said this. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's like, our political commentary has been devolved to the point where people argue about what people said said them in a clip that someone sent them from a podcast from like a month ago or something. It's ridiculous. But this is what's happening now. We have to have these fights in the open now because everybody knows who these people are, and they have to have jabs back and forth at each other. And it's just endless. And I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's only going to get worse. To be honest with you, I think it's just going to get bigger. And there's going to be whole organizations of people that are they center their entire, messaging campaign talking about other people and talking about the podcaster that they like over the podcaster that they don't like. And, I side with this person. I stand with Tucker. Like, you know how ridiculous of a statement it is to me for me to someone to say something like that? Like, I stand with Tucker or Nick Fuentes and this person and that person. Like, I don't stand with any of these freaking people. Like, I don't care. Like, are you kidding me? Like, they're podcasters. Like, they're the people talking about politics on a regular basis. I don't stand with them. Maybe I listen to their opinion, but like, I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me if you don't like each other. Like it's such a low intelligence thing to talk about other people and talk about them instead of actually talking about the ideas, which it just annoys the hell out of me. Like, people somehow cannot understand that Nick Fuentes is just really, really good at rage baiting people. Like, he's like the best at it. Like, he's got to be one of the best rage baiters that's ever rage baited. And he knows what he's doing. Like, if you listen to it, like, I've actually never, up until this week, I never listened to a full episode of Nick Fuentes ever. Okay. Like, and he's like, but even then, there was some clip that someone shared that I was like, that's annoying. Like, it was like, that's just, it almost makes me want to comment. But this was completely irrelevant to politics. He's like, I don't eat meat. I don't like meat. I only eat cheese and potatoes. Like, oh my God, I despise you. Like, what's the matter with you? I mean, what's wrong with you? Like, you like saying that you don't eat meat at all as a man? Like, it just drove me nuts. But again, this is what these people do. The people that are really good at this game and growing their podcast now, like Candace Owens is one of the best at this. She gets the rage bait. She gets people pissed off about some topic, and then people go and watch her shows, and that's how you drive engagement. It works. Okay, like it is the game now, whether people admit it or not. That is the game now, and then people don't seem to understand it at all. But we're living in a world now where these people, like these big time celebrity people, the people that have been around for a number of years, probably about 10 years, I'd say most of these big time podcasters are now people that have been in the game for a minute, that they have a big following. A lot of people talk about them all the time. And now we're getting to the point where they bicker back and forth with each other. And then whole cliques of people on the online, the ecosphere fight with each other about who's right. It's like, oh my goodness. Like, I hate it so much, but there's no way it's going away. It's only going to get worse. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, well, and the other part that, for me, the part that annoys the heck out of me, if you were to say what annoys me the most, it's not even so much the rage baiting. It's the demand that some random person get involved in the middle of a fight between two people.
Yes.
So like this demand that Megyn Kelly weigh in on Candace Owens and her opinion, or that so and so has to weigh in on this because otherwise you are this, and it's just like so elementary.
Yes.
And
that's what drives me nuts, Chris. It's like, I've had multiple people that have come to me like, will you disavow Nick Fuentes? I'm like, I'd have to avow this person. Like, I hate when people say that. Do you disavow this person? Like, let me explain something to you. I have to avow people first before I have to be forced to disavow. Like, do I have a sign somewhere in this room that says that I avow Nick Fuentes or something? Like, do I have a sign that says I'm a huge Tucker fan? Like, do I have a picture of Tucker in the back of my office or something? Like, do I have a sign about the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro's face or something? Like I just listen to these people. They're just podcasters. For the love of God, people. Like I'm not disavowing shit. Like, I mean, it's, the idea that I have to avow something and disavow it, and like, it's endless. It is endlessly stupid. Like, I don't care. I don't care why you want to fight about these people. Like, it's not worth talking about. It is the equivalent of Beyonce and Nicki Minaj having a rap battle against each other. Like, it is the same thing. It's just on politics now. Like, it's the same thing. It's, Nicki Minaj wrote a rap song and about how much they hate this person. Then Beyonce responded with her own rap song. And now their whole fan base is fighting with each other because that was a good line in that section of that bar. Like, oh my God. Like, I hate all of you. I hate all of you. Like, shut up. Like, no one cares. This is so stupid. But this is what we're doing now. And it's not going away. It's not going to go away. It's not. This is only going to continue. Okay, this is only going to continue. It's only going to get worse. This is not going to change at all. It's going to get worse because there's going to be other people that rise up, other people that get big as well. I'm sure at some point in the next few years, at some point, I'm going to be drawn into one of these stupid fights with somebody. It's bound to happen. And I don't know what the hell it's going to be about, but I guarantee you I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate it so much. Like, whenever it happens, whatever it happens about, I'm going to be very pissed off for the entire week because I even have to do it in the first place, which is pretty funny because I actually see that in what Ben Shapiro is doing. Like, I mean, like I love to listen to people saying that Ben Shapiro doesn't have any influence anymore or something like that. It's like I don't know what world you live in, like, but Daily Wire is like one of the most successful conservative podcasting organizations in the world. Like, it's a massive platform. Like, everyone's like, well, he doesn't get as many likes on YouTube. It's because no one watches on YouTube. He's got his own app. I mean, no one cares about the Daily Wire on YouTube. Like, why would you watch it there? You can watch it on the app. It's way better. It's got a whole lot more features. But ignore all of that. The idea that we have to sit here and argue about it is hysterical to me. But watching Ben talk about it is pretty funny to me because I for those who don't, like, haven't watched Ben, maybe you're younger and you don't know who Ben Shapiro is, but like, I've literally watched him since the Daily Wire was founded, and I've seen the exponential growth of the company, and I know what the company does, and I know the successes that the company has and how influential the company has. I know all these things. So it's very funny watching Ben Shapiro sit here and be like, I have to talk about this. Like, you can tell he's pissed off about it. Like, he's just annoyed that he even has to address it in the first place because he doesn't care about it. Like someone that doesn't operate at all on an emotional basis is very funny to watch him argue about something that he despises. Like, I feel like it would be a very similar response that I have if I ever get in some ridiculous fight with an influencer or something. It's like, I hate you. I hate you so much that I even have to do this in the first place. It's so stupid. Everything about it is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the best parts was one of those things is like when I hear Ben on the stage with Kelly and like Megan Kelly says, like, well, Tucker was trying to make the argument that Maduro was socially conservative, and then Ben just responds with, "Who gives a shit?"
Well, I mean, but that's true. I mean, that is, and this is one of the things that, like, Ben is correct on that. Okay, like, I don't care what Maduro is doing. Like, I mean, like, there's nothing about Maduro that I'm gonna defend. Okay, Maduro's ridiculous. I mean, he's a dictator of a country that ships fentanyl all over the world. There's no defense of the guy. But at the same time, Tucker's new interview style is that of, I'm not really going to be that, aggressive with people, I guess. Ben's only point was that he did it with Ted Cruz, but, I don't know. Ted Cruz can take care of himself. I'm not too worried about that. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't watch these people. Like, I mean, like, again, like I said earlier, Nick Fuentes is not somebody I ever watched ever. Okay. And never, not once, never seen a full episode of his show, not a single time up until this week because people would not stop talking about him. So I went and watched it. And the majority of it, the one thing that I will say on it, I went and watched a couple different episodes, just kind of click through to see what his stuff is about. And it's just a monologue from him. Like, it's just him talking for about an hour every single night. And he, his entire show, there's no sponsors. It's all done by super chats, which is, impressive that he's built an audience enough that he can be successful without sponsors. So you can argue about it however you want, but he actually has an audience that pays him. And that's the only way that he stays on. So, he has built a very, very loyal following that keeps him up and running. But the one thing I will say is that the one that bothers me about it is that as a young guy, and if this guy's audience is truly a lot of young men, That's what I've heard. I don't actually know because I don't really care. But what I've been told
Well, I
is that
think a
apparently,
lot of them are from other countries.
well, I don't know. I don't care. I don't care at all where he comes, like how he is paid or who his audience is. That doesn't matter to me at all. But from what I have been told, young men listen to this guy a lot. And if that's true, the problem with that is that this guy is not a very good leader for young men. Okay, like, and I don't mean that as a negative sense to him. I look at the way that he talks and the things that he talks about, and I was listening to the way he talks about it. And the problem is that almost all of it's scapegoating. Okay, like if you want to fix your life and you want to have a better life, what you should do is you should take full personal responsibility in every way that you possibly can. Everyone that sits there and talks about it being some other country's fault that America is having problems, you're just ignoring the problem, because the real problem is us. It is you. It is your country. It is your responsibility to take care of your country. It is your mandate as an American citizen to act as a citizen. Citizenship is an active participation role. It is your responsibility to take care of your country. And if our country's falling apart, it's because the citizens didn't do a very good job. Now, that doesn't mean that it's your fault, as if you're a young guy, specifically if you're like 19, 20 years old. Sure, you had no ability to control that, but it's your family's fault or someone above you's fault that they didn't maintain this country. Now you've got to fix it. And that doesn't get fixed by screaming that it's some other country's fault and yelling that it's, one specific ethnic group or whatever the hell it may be. None of that helps you. None of that does anything for you. It doesn't make you feel better. It's not going to benefit you. It's not going to do anything. The only thing that you can do is do what everyone has to do, which is you actually have to get down and do the work. You have to get to work. You have to do the civic engagement part. You have to grow your influence. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to go out and talk to people and try and fix things as best you can. And you should do it locally and do it as fast as you can, because if you don't, things are only going to get worse. And yelling about it and complaining about it all the time does not help you. Does not help you at all. That's the only thing I have. That's the only commentary I really have on the guy, because to me, I can hear what he's saying. And I'll tell you right now, I know why he has an audience if it's young men, because disaffected young men that have lived in a system where they've told them for years that they are the problem, that they suck, that everything about them is horrible. Sure. Yeah, you can get through to people like that. I mean, that's true. And I don't doubt that at all, that there's a lot of people out there, because I used to be one of them. I know what it's like to have the entire world tell you that they hate you. I went to these colleges. These colleges are full. When you go to college now, the higher education system is entirely oriented against young men. It is. They hate you. They don't want you there. They don't like anything about you, especially if you're conservative or if you're even remotely conservative. They despise you, okay? And they treat you like trash. And I get it. Like, that'll piss a lot of people off, but the response is not to then go out and yell and scream that it's everybody else's fault that the world's bad. The response is just to suck it up and go fix it. That's the response. That's what you should. And people don't like that. People don't like being told that it's not anybody else's responsibility. It's not anybody else's fault that your life sucks. It's your responsibility to go fix your life. And that's just a conscious decision everybody has to make on their own. But people don't like hearing that, because it's all about personal responsibility at the end of the day. Having personal responsibility to go out and fix your own life and make your life better is not an easy thing to do, but you have to do it if you want to be better. That's the only way. Okay, Anon, go ahead.
Man, that was a good speech right there, because that's what it is, like that personal responsibility. So I'll start with this. Whenever we're talking about where we're seeing like these conversations and the civil war going on in the Republican Party, I can say this is like the thing that pisses me off the most is that we don't have some people are being authentic. Just say what you want to mean. Like, just say it. Like, be like, yeah, I'm on this side, I'm on that side. Like, just say it. And like, don't do like I'm just asking questions, and not even that. Don't play us like fools. And I will say the one that pissed me off the most was when Megyn Kelly. She's like, yeah, I didn't know Candace Owen was doing these crazy.
Now hold on. Just to correct you one thing here. So when Megyn Kelly said that, I 100% believe that she doesn't have the time to go out and listen to all these podcasters. I promise you that's true. Okay, listen to me. Like, I try to listen to a lot of people. I do. I try my best to listen to as many people as possible. You know how many freaking podcasts there are now? It is impossible. Okay, it is not possible to listen to every podcast from every person. It is, unless you listen to all of them on like 4x speed, and then you spend like 12 hours out of your day every day listening to all these podcasts, you'd never be able to do it. Like, and someone like Megyn Kelly, who is super busy all the time, she probably has no clue what this woman's talking about. I guarantee it.
Okay, so I'll give that to it. And Ben actually gave her that exit ramp at Wells, where it's like it is plausible. Okay, so I'm not going to sit there and like there is a world where she probably doesn't know that Candace Owens is like just saying some crazy stuff. But then I just seen a video today, and this is like a Vice leftist reporter. Like it's like at the far left, and it's the only time I've seen her get pushed. And it's a great video if you want to watch it, because there's a lot of evidence that happened to this. And she challenged that. And anyways, you guys go look at that. It's pretty great. But I'll push back to what you're saying, Walter, right there. It's like self accountability, because you can be like, I'm from a single parent household. I'm half black, half white. And yeah, life wasn't great, but I could join the military. And the military could give me a life. And after you get out of the military, you can like also go to college for free. There's no one in America that is like just on the bottom who has not tried to raise themselves up. So like I don't blame it on any other group of people. Don't sit there and be like, yeah, it's a white man holding me down or whatever. It's like, no, dude, just like pull yourself up. Like literally pull the bootstrings up, and I'll land it there.
Yeah. Someone said here, so Megan's too busy to research about what she discusses. Guys, Megan, how often does she discuss Candace? Okay, like is that a common discussion point on her show? Like other than like individualized conversation where like someone says one thing about it. I mean, just to be honest with you, like is it truly? I don't think it is. I don't watch Megyn Kelly every single day because I can't. I don't have the time to do so. But I don't think that she talks about Candace Owens on a regular basis, which is kind of what my point is. Now, but I will say, Candace Owens came out here and said, and she said something that's just not true. She said, that Ben Shapiro at one point said that Candace is saying that TPUSA, that she's blaming Erica Kirk and TPUSA for Charlie's death. Even I know that's true. So, I mean, I know Megyn Kelly's a lot busier than someone like me, obviously, but at the same time, Candace has made pretty much everybody that you can possibly blame for Charlie Kirk's death. Candace is like she has blamed everybody that exists other than the left and the guy that actually did it. Like, I mean, like that I know that, but that's mostly because I just got super annoyed with it. Like it to me is just gross. Like I don't care what I don't care what most people talk about, but that watching that whole short ordeal, which here's the other thing that really I thought was hysterical. Just today, as a result of Ben saying that last night, Ben, what did Candace Owens do today? Candace Owens then immediately released text messages between her and Charlie Kirk talking about Ben Shapiro. Like, her whole platform now is releasing text messages of a dead guy. Like, I mean, it's like I don't know how much I dislike you, Candace, but doing this stuff, it's not making me like you any better. It's annoying the hell out of me. I really don't like it. I mean, whatever. You can be the number one podcaster in the world, I guess. But to me, I've never been more. I don't dislike anybody more than her for when it comes to the way that she's acted over the past month or two since Charlie's death. Like, you're not involved in the investigation. You don't know anything. Whatever. It's just gross to me. Like I don't like it at all. It's very obvious to me that you just want to get people's attention. I mean, there was the what was the Egyptian airline or something like that, and she said UTC was Utah time or something like that. It was like, what the hell? Like, that was Brick Suit that pointed that out. And it's like, I don't care. Like, I haven't watched a full episode of Candace's show in years now. Like, I mean, I don't pay attention to this person at all. It's just they're not interesting to me. They don't talk about interesting things. They don't have any interesting ideas. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's it. Like, the only thing I've ever seen that was even reasonably funny was the fact that she did, like, the French president's wife. Like, that's hysterical. Like, I don't care. Like, that's just funny.
She's trying to get out of that now. She filed a motion to dismiss after she said on Tucker's show that she was going to fight this all the way to trial.
Well, I mean, motion to dismiss is not fighting and getting out of it. That a motion to dismiss is saying that she doesn't think that they have a case.
She specifically said that she wasn't going to file to dismiss. She specifically said that.
Oh, well. Again, I don't care. I mean, like, to me, that whole thing was just funny. Like, it's just hysterical. Like, the fact that we had to have the French president's wife prove that she's a woman is just classic. Like, I mean, just like unbelievably funny. Like, I don't care. Like, you got to admit when stuff is hysterical. Like, just the fact that even had to happen in the first place is just unbelievably hysterical. Like, I mean, just like what? The French president's wife has to send proof to the U.S. courts that she is actually a female. Like how you managed to do that is just ridiculous in the first place. Like when they announced that lawsuit, I was like, I've never seen such a stupid, ridiculously bad PR decision by the French president. Like, I mean, it's like, what are you doing? Like, I mean, like, that is the dumbest thing ever. You could have just ignored them and just not talked about it at all. But instead, now they made this big case about it. Like, I mean, what? Like, it's such an asinine, stupid, like astonishingly stupid decision by them bringing that case forward, because they're not going to win. There's a bunch of people like, oh yeah, they will. Yes, they will. Like, and guys, you have any idea how difficult it is to win a defamation lawsuit against public figures in the United States? It is almost impossible, because you have to prove a state of mind. And let me tell you one thing. I think Candace 1000% believes what she says. She is just that nuts. She believes what she says 1000%. She believes that is a man. Okay, like, I mean, and you're not going to be able to prove in court that she doesn't believe that he's a man, that that because of the evidence that she looked at, that she thinks he's a man. Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Okay, like, it's just a stupid decision on their part. No idea why they did that. Not smart bringing that forward, because it just blew her platform up even further. Someone says Candace is a chaos agent. No, she's not. Candace is just really good at click farming, dude. Like, she's fantastic at it. She's great at it. Okay. I mean, you got to admit when these people are good at what they're doing, because they know how to get people to pay attention to them. Like, in a world where there's a million podcasts, the one way that you can grow your podcast is you say outlandish things so that people then share clips of your pod. Like, this is what I don't understand about so many people. There's so many people that their entire thing that they do all day is like go click clip farm off of other people, and then they share things like, look what they said. Like, and all you just did is just make people go see more of their content. Like, that's all you did. You gave them free advertising. Okay, you're giving them more free advertising every single time you look and you put out another clip of them saying something that they said. Like, that's what you did. So it's, to me, it's ridiculous that people haven't picked up on this yet. But this is the age of the internet, where everybody has their own podcast, everybody has something else that they're trying to grow, that they're doing. Like, yeah, if you say outlandish things, you can grow your podcast faster, because people go share that, and then everybody comes to look and see what kind of other outlandish things you might see. And then, like, it's amazing to me that people don't understand that the best way to deal with these people would to just be ignore them. But that's impossible for some people, apparently. They're completely impossible. They can't help themselves. They have to talk about it every time they say something outlandish. They must go share 800 clips of these people saying, look what they said. I go, yeah, well, good job. I mean, you probably made them trend by doing that. It's hysterical to me that people haven't figured this out yet.
Walter, I actually put out a thread yesterday about how you can stop with this rage-based stuff based on successful approaches that have happened in countries like Taiwan, Estonia, and I forget the third one. But it talked about how what you have to do is you just have to make fun of these people. Like, don't share their clips, but you just make memes out of these people. Is what a lot of these countries were saying. It's pinned on my post if you want to take a look at it.
Well, I mean, the easiest way to deal with people that are not very smart is to make fun of them. I mean, that's just the reality. But I mean, again, the problem is that you're not going to be able to get away with that with the size of the audience of some of these people, because again, you have to remember, it's the same problem with everything else. Is that even if they do say super outlandish things, 90% of their audience don't see it. And even if you share a bazillion clips of it, 90% of their audience still doesn't see it. Okay, like when you get to a certain size, the majority of your audience doesn't see the majority of your content. Okay, like, I mean, they watch your content. They maybe watch one podcast a week. Like, I mean, maybe they see one or two, but they've got 800 other podcasts that they're listening to. That's why it's so difficult to grow a podcast. I mean, there's some people that watch every hour of every minute of every show that you put out, but those people are not going anywhere no matter what you say. Okay, like, they're not leaving. They're going to hang out forever. You can say anything. They're going to hang out forever. And Nick Fuentes is a perfect example of that. He's got a huge live audience that listens to him every single night, listens to every word he says. They're not going anywhere. There ain't nowhere you're going to convince them to go anywhere. Like, they like Nick Fuentes. They like listening to him. Whatever. You're not going to grow. You're not going to steal that audience off him. It's not happening. Go ahead, Anon.
Yeah. So I'm going to push it back to, I'm sorry, guys, we're going to talk about Candy. We're bringing her back. First of all, if, I'm one of those people where I just get to jump into spaces kind of like irregularly, like I do other stuff. But like opinions, he's an officer as well. So I know that he's listening and he's saying like, yeah, dude, we just want evidence. And then like, I look at that evidence from what happened to this terrible tragedy of Charlie Kirk, and for someone to try to like sit there and make this conspiracy theory out there, I am actually pretty pissed off about it. But I hear what you're saying. Is like some people are just like, you know what? Since what they're saying, I'm just not gonna listen to them. But I'm not against though. Whenever Ben's saying like, no, I'm gonna call them out for what they're saying. Like they're saying like what it actually is. This is not some groiper like
Yeah, listen,
Go
Ben.
ahead, sir.
The difference is that Ben specifically is being attacked by these people. Okay, like if one of these people like it specifically came after me or something. Okay, like yeah, I'd respond. But in general, like the deal is like in general, do you see Ben Shapiro sharing clips of things that Nick Fuentes says on a regular basis? No.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's what my point is. Like the deal is that if you would directly attack somebody, don't be surprised when they respond. Okay, like that's not surprising to anybody. But I'm talking about
yeah.
the people that there's entire people like that their whole day is screaming about something that Candace Owens said or screaming about something that Nick Fuentes said, and I promise you that does not assist anything. That's why I don't spend any time attacking people on the show that I like. I don't
Agreed.
like. I just don't
Agreed.
care. I don't care. I don't care what they're talking about. It just doesn't matter. Okay, we've got another request here. Bella is coming up here. Jacktron, if you have something to say, you have your hand up so you can speak whenever, dude.
All right, so I mean, we were also talking about like on the topic of this. Do we want to discuss the either the Sydney Sweeney clip or the Jennifer Lawrence clips?
I think that's actually worth talking about on this. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen this stuff today. Jennifer Lawrence came out earlier today saying specifically that she thinks that celebrities are not worth like talking, like they shouldn't talk about politics. Yeah, I mean of course they shouldn't, because and the reason they shouldn't is because there's literally celebrities that only talk about politics now. So why would anyone listen to what Jennifer Lawrence has to say? She doesn't know shit about politics. Like that's what my point is about the idea that there's a new wave of celebrities in the world now. There is. I mean, there's a much larger wave of celebrities in the world now. Like, why would anyone have anything to care about what Jennifer Lawrence has to say on politics? What has she done in politics that makes her a credible source? There is nothing. There's nothing that has a credible source on politics. So why would anyone listen to her? So she's right to actually make that statement because it makes perfect sense. In Sydney Sweeney's stuff, that was a great. I loved that clip of her when she refused to flagellate herself on the racial altar of DEI and refused to apologize for being hot and blonde. Like, I mean, they're like, good, great, love it, love every minute of that. Those are both two amazing clips. I should probably play at least one of them or both of them if I have them. Did you send them to me earlier?
I sure did.
Perfect. I'll pull one of them up now.
And here's the other thing about this is that what my thinking behind the Jennifer Lawrence clip is that this could be a startup to stop these celebrities from getting involved in politics, because what I think we could do is that if Jennifer Lawrence has a project coming up, is that we should support that, because it provides an incentive to show that, yeah, if you stop getting involved in politics and just stick to your films, kind of behavior is rewarded. If we still punish that behavior of, just, I don't like you, I don't like your politics, but even though you're keeping it to yourself, I'm still not going to watch your movies, then there's no incentive to get them to stop talking about politics. So I say that, if you see a Jennifer Lawrence movie, maybe just, you can watch it. Just,
Well,
just to
that
say.
I understand the idea, but I'll tell you right now, I'm probably not going to watch any Jennifer Lawrence films because I can't even name the last film that she was in. I have no idea what this woman does. I don't care. I mean, maybe that makes sense. Maybe people will care more, but I'll tell you right now, I just don't think people care at all what celebrities have to say anymore. Like, it's like no one cares. Like, no one cares what she talks about at all. Just if you look good in your movie, great. Like, maybe I'll see it if it's something interesting. But outside of that, I just don't really care. Anyway, the Sydney Sweeney
I'm a big
clip.
fan of Jennifer Lawrence. I'm glad she said what she said. I think she's a great actress. I think what was this? What was the movie Silver Lining or something?
No
It
idea
was
what
a
it
great
is.
movie.
Never
You
seen
Yeah,
know,
it.
the last movie I saw her in was No Hard Feelings.
yeah. Well, I mean, it
What
was
the
just
hell is
all,
that?
she's a great actress. Some of her shows I haven't really I'm like, whatever. But the point I want to say this part here, because I think it's super important for folks, is to quote Michael Jordan, Republicans buy shoes too. And there was an era in which celebrities and big name folks understood that your job as a athlete or as an actor or actress or musician is not to insult the people who would love your art, right? Okay, it's okay to have a differing opinion on your own personal level. It's okay to highlight something. Like, for example, Jennifer Lawrence, um, several years ago, highlighted she won a lawsuit, and she highlighted the need to hold people accountable for hacking phones and leaking nude photos and things like that on the internet and all this different stuff. She was a victim of it. Okay, advocate for that. I think it's a great thing, you know. But what happens is you get the Ben Afflecks of the world who, you know, everything's all about politics. And he literally calls anybody who supports Trump essentially a Nazi and a hateful person. And, you know, and I just feel like it takes away the art of acting and what they do. People go to the movies to get relief. I love movies. I love going to the theater to watch movies. But I can't stand how political these people have become.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, like I don't want to hear from George Clooney. Okay, like go back to Ocean's 11, dude. I don't really care. I mean, like, why am I listening to you? Like, I mean, like you put an op-ed in the New York Times and you got Joe Biden to drop out of the race. That was pretty interesting. But that op-ed was written by Obama in my eyes. Like, I mean, like I don't really care. I mean, like again, I don't have any interest in listening to celebrities because what have they ever done that's ever interesting? Like Robert De Niro screaming about Trump all the time. Like, good for you. I mean, cool. Like, I mean, I just don't care at all. Like, why would I listen to you about anything? Like, I mean, you have no connection to anything in regular America at all. Like, you have nothing interesting. Anyway, so here's the Sydney Sweeney clip. If people haven't seen it yet, I'm putting it up on the screen now for people to watch. So this is the clip.
The criticism of the content, which was basically that maybe specifically in this political climate, like white people shouldn't joke about genetic superiority. Like that was kind of like the criticism, broadly speaking. And since you are talking about this, I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about that specifically.
I think that when I have an issue that I want to speak about, people will hear.
So that was her. That was Sydney Sweeney responding to that. So, you know, you want to talk about the fact that everyone was saying that white genes, that, you know, that being a white gened person is bad. And, you know, like you want to respond to that. And she's like, no, not really. I don't need to do that. Why would I do that?
I mean, it was freaking brilliant. Can we just say, like, that's exactly what she should say? She was talking about her freaking pants, for the love of God.
Well, I mean, it's just, but the reaction is perfect because it's, why do I have to do that? I don't have to do that. I'm just not going to. Like, I mean, just, she doesn't need to. Sydney Sweeney is like she's got to be the most famous, like, female, like, model in the country now at this point.
21st century Marilyn Monroe is really the truth.
I mean, that she's that big now, at least. And I know that everybody knows who this woman is now. And the funny part of it is that, like, they are the ones who caused this. Like, the idiots that came out and said, like, oh, my God, it's Nazism. Sydney Sweeney is the Third Reich coming. Like, oh, my Lord. Like, are you kidding me? Like what? Like, it's the dumbest thing. Like, just by doing that, you blew that ad up. I want to know how much did American Eagle stock remain up after that? Because I knew that, like, it was soaring as a result of that. So, like, I haven't even checked into that. I should probably go look. I'm curious how much gains they actually maintained as a result of the Sydney Sweeney explosion, because that was just so ridiculous to me.
And it's also indicative of the mindset of this leftist religion, right? Where everything in their life is political. Every decision they make in their life is political. They don't even go to Thanksgiving or Christmas because of politics, right? And they don't want to work with people because of politics. They try to get people fired because of politics. You know, they try to shut small businesses down because of politics. And here's this gal who's like, dude, I'm just trying to get paid to do a jeans ad. And somehow they're like, oh my gosh, she was talking about white genetics and white superiority. She's a Nazi. And it's like, people, I'm so glad people were like, oh, dude, she's just doing a jeans ad. And by the way, her body's banging. Who cares? Good for American Eagle for getting her to do the ad and reviving their brand that was almost on life support. And now all of a sudden, people go there. It's cool to go there. I think because of her, these young girls are finally pivoting away from the mom gene era, and they're gonna go towards other genes, which is great.
Please, love of God, get the mom genes away. Let's get those things over with.
Mom jeans make you look a little
Yay,
like
I love my mom jeans. That's bullshit. We like our mom jeans. Like,
God,
let
come
us
on.
live in our
I don't know.
mom
I mean,
jeans.
no knock
We're
to you, Bella.
moms.
no knock to you, Bella, but I just am saying, 18-year-old and 20-year-old girls in mom jeans don't look the greatest. I'm just simply saying that, like, I just, there was a reason why moms got rid of those jeans in the style back in the day to begin with.
Yeah,
So,
enough on the mom jeans. I'm anti-mom jean. We don't need any of those. Like
What about for the moms? Can the moms have the mom
look,
jeans?
mom jeans. Moms can wear mom jeans. Moms can wear whatever
Oh,
they
okay,
want.
all
Okay,
right.
moms are allowed to wear whatever they want. But we're talking about like young 20-year-old girls. Like go back to wearing skinny jeans or something. Like for the love of God, we don't want to see these stupid mom jeans. They're terrible. Like I mean, come on, people. Like, I mean, there's a great video I saw the other day. It was hysterical, and it was this guy that was like. And it was a funny video. It's just a parody video. And his wife comes around the corner and he says, "What do you think of my new jeans?" And she's got these giant baggy like loose jeans on, and he like just starts like tearing up and crying because he's envisioning her in like skinny jeans, and he's like, "They look great. They look fantastic. I love them." It's just so funny. It's a great video. It's just hysterical. Just like completely making fun of the entire concept. I love it. Yes, no. Get rid of the mom jeans for the young girls. Moms can wear whatever the hell they want. They're moms. They can wear whatever the hell they want. But no, we don't need to have mom jeans on every single like 18 to 28-year-old girl. Like, I mean, come on now. You look great at that age for a reason. You don't need to wear mom jeans during that time period.
I think it's fair. I think that young girls need to own the fact that they are young girls. And they probably, for the most part, do not have the confidence to understand that, like, at one point, you're actually going to be a mom and you're going to want to wear the mom jeans. But, like, while you can own it, freaking own it. Yes, wear the skinny jeans, wear the crop tops, do your thing. Like, if you can own it with love, like, and just embrace your body because your body is going to do a lot of things throughout your life. You're going to birth children and go through all of these different things that you have to go through as a woman, as being part of society. But yeah, I hear where you're coming from. I don't know that I need the older guys to be telling the younger girls to wear the mom jeans, but for the sake,
I'm a
but hold
father of
on,
I'm a
but
father of a
for the
daughter.
sake, but for the sake of the 20-year-old men who aren't getting laid in this country, let those girls not wear mom jeans. I agree.
I agree with that, and I'm just saying, as a girl dad of a 16-year-old as of next week, I tell her the same thing. Don't be buying mom jeans. Don't be buying your skater Janko jeans. I know they're coming back. Get yourself some jeans that make you look good, and continue to do your thing, girl. Take pride in what you look like because you're beautiful. That's all I'm saying. And so
I
yeah,
hope you're still telling her to hide her ass. Like, I don't need to see any ass cheeks at any age.
no, I absolutely, absolutely. She okay. Quick brief thing. She came out one time in an outfit when she was in, I think it was this in like 8th grade. It could have been the beginning of last year, her freshman year. And I was like, turn around, go change right now. That was the last time she ever did that. And I take pride in that because she does not want to look like a hoochie, right? And I think that's why people love her, is because um she takes pride in herself.
Well, I mean,
But
look,
she's also
there's still the general mistake of thinking that if you dress conservatively as a woman, that it is a negative thing for you somehow. That existed when I was in college, which is just not true. I mean, it's just not true at all. Like, the dressing, you don't have to dress with your ass hanging out for people to find you attractive. I promise you. Now, I promise you all the guys in college will really, really enjoy it if you do that. Like, feel free, but you're not going to attract the highest quality of men if you intentionally dress that provocatively. I promise you that the quality of men that you attract will drastically drop if you dress like that. I mean, you're not going to have the A game men coming to talk to you if you wear a crop top and jeans that you're literally falling out of. I promise you that the men they're going to be talking to you have one thing in mind, and it's not anything to do with your personality, sweetheart. That's just reality.
but Bella, you did bring up a something in your comment that that I thought was important, because I did see this clip, and it was that 45% of men 18 to 25 uh, have never kissed a girl or asked a girl on a date. Now,
It's
this
very concerning, right?
it's
It's
extremely
very
concerning.
concerning. How does this happen? How is this happening in
I
today's
can tell you
society?
exactly how it happens. Okay, because I watched it happen as it was starting to happen when I was in college. What happened is you got to a point where if you're in college and you're a guy in college and you go out and you go drinking in college and you wake up and you slept with a girl last night when you were both wasted drunk at the bar, that next morning, that girl can claim that you raped her, and then you can be thrown out of college and your entire life and career can be ruined, even though you didn't do anything, even though when it gets taken to actual court, nothing happens to you. If you do that
the
enough.
Duke lacrosse case.
Yeah, I mean, the deal is all of these Title IX cases, they would do these internal school-based investigations, ruin the person's life, throw them out of school, completely destroy their career, and then it gets to normal court, and they're like, yeah, there's no evidence, this is out. So it doesn't matter then. It's already been 2 years. You've been thrown out of school. You don't have any career or anything. That happened a lot more than people realize. Like, I mean, everyone remembers the Rolling Stone article, that ridiculous case. The Rolling Stone article, which was a rape on campus, which was all made up. The entire thing was made up, and not a single aspect of it was true. It was so
Even
fake
case.
it was so fake that Johnny Depp is a celebrity. Okay, I'm talking about college guys. Okay, college guys that literally, like, if you're in college and you go to a party and you both get hammered drunk and you wake up and you slept with somebody, you didn't rape her. Like, I mean, if that's not how this works. Okay, like, I'm sure there are cases where people are aggressively doing stuff like that, and that's horrible and that shouldn't happen. Yes, I'm sure. But if you're both hammered drunk and you both wake up and you did something that one of you regrets because it's embarrassing, you can't then ruin that person's life. Okay, like, that's not how this works. But that's what they made it do. And the result of that is now guys are scared of the possibility that if they do anything, that they could get in serious trouble for it, so they just don't do it. That's what happened. I mean, it's to that level now that it's that detrimental that now people don't even the young people don't want to talk to each other because they're worried that one of them might get in trouble for actually doing something. That happens in college now. I know it does. I mean, and I watched it happen. I knew 3 or 4 guys when I was in college that it was all the same. Okay, they had the school did the investigation. The school threw them out of school. The school let the girls stay in school, and then when it got to court, the court threw it completely out. The court did when it actually got to court, they said no. It seems to me that this is not in any way an illegal act at all. They throw it out of court, but it doesn't matter because those guys have already been thrown out of college and they'll never be able to get back in. I mean, that's just the reality. How do you fix that problem? Especially, what if you got a kid with student loans? Okay, so you took the student loans, you throw these guys out of school, they can't even finish college now. Like, what do you expect? I mean, this is what the result, and this is the same stupid. Like, when I was in college, the thing that they used to do all the time. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. They would sit down, the fraternity guys, okay, and they'd have these big seminars about sexual assault and stuff like that. And my favorite thing that they used to talk about is, did you know that 90% of all rapes that happen go unreported? I was like, wait, okay, explain that. Like, how exactly do things go unreported? They no one talks about them at all. So how do you get your statistics? Like, there's so many holes with this whole concept. So you're telling me 1 in 5 women that attend college campuses get raped? Is that what you're really telling me? That's what their argument was. It's like, that's the most ridiculous thing ever. This is not true. It's just not true. Okay, like 1 in 5. That's absurd. Okay, like that's just not true at all. But that's what they tried to push. Okay, and this was forced on every single school in the country for years. And why do you expect now that the young guys don't want to talk to the young girls? Because they're scared shitless of them. They might go to jail. Like, I mean, that's what happens now. You can't make any advances. You can't try and actually do anything because if you do, you might get attacked for it. I mean, that's just what happened over the past 10 years. And that's directly as a result of the Title IX crap that got pushed out.
Absolutely. I mean, I just graduated college, and I can tell you this: all that you're saying is true. Now, they're not even saying that it's 1 in 5. They're not saying I think it's 1 in 3, and that they now
1 in
have
3. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, and now they're like devoting all these resources, all this like the sexual stuff. Like, look, I'm not trying to downplay that. That sexual assault isn't a real thing. It absolutely is. It's just now they're putting all of this like resource and attention to it. So you wonder like even I had those experiences in college. Like I get afraid to talk to girls because I'm just afraid of
You know what? I know exactly what you mean, Jack Tron. Like, you don't need to explain it because I know what it is. I've seen it. Okay, like it's very difficult to say that you want to talk to a young girl, go up and try and make an advance on a young girl. If you like, what if I get charged with sexual assault for that? That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's what we did. That's what we did. We decided we were going to do this as a country for whatever stupid reason. The Title IX stuff went out, and it caused a major uproar across the entire country. Like, I mean, listen, all of these resources and these ridiculous like seminars that they would have, they were forced on every single like fraternity in the country. They had to make it was a mandatory seminar that they had to.
And I had to see some of this stuff when I first got to college.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, and it's absurd.
Not just sexually assault stuff; it was also about racial discrimination.
Well, I mean, that's never ending. I mean, everything's discrimination of some kind nowadays, apparently. we have to have DEI somewhere, apparently. All right, we got Philip Moore up on here on stage. What's up, Philip? No, Philip.
I got to unmute myself.
There you go. What's happening?
Well, I think you're partially right. Obviously, that did go on, but I think there's a bigger issue, and that is that the young men these days that are entering into dating age have grown up with unfettered access to pornography, and social media has changed the dynamic where the top 10% of men are the ones that are matching with all of the women, and the bottom, 90% of guys that are under 6 foot and under six figures and don't have six-pack abs never get matched on the social media apps. And I think that's a bigger dynamic in terms of the lack of connection than
Maybe,
guys being afraid.
There's one thing I will agree with you on, and that is that, and I can't remember who it was I heard say this, but this was a very accurate take. Ironically, I think it might have been Andrew Tate that said this, and he was saying something along the lines that the problem that you have now is that dating is now an international thing. Like, really, it is. Like, I mean, you're competing on almost a global scale when you're going out to date. I mean, if you have a woman that is beautiful in your hometown, right? A billionaire that can see her online can send her a message, send a private jet out to pick her up, and say, "Hey, I'll fly you to France for the weekend." Like, that shit can happen now. I mean, that's true. That's a real thing that can happen now. So you are competing on a much larger scale as a guy. But I will say the other side of this is, either the dating apps, maybe they're not getting matched on it, whatnot. But like, guys, like, I don't know if that's entirely true, because to me, you still have the opportunity when you're young to meet people. Like, it's not just the apps. Like, I mean, there's opportunity when you're young. Between the ages of 16 to 22, when you're in college and the later years of high school, there are women around you that you can meet and interact with. So that doesn't really make entirely sense. I do agree with the pornography part. Okay, the pornography part does have a problem. But that's also existed longer than just the social media era. That's been a problem for many, many years now.
Well, you mean access on the internet?
Yes.
I mean, when I was, I had to go find my dad's old Playboy magazines when I was a kid. That's how.
Yeah, well, but I'm talking about how long it's been active. The drop off now is much more significant than like the rise of pornography. Like, I mean, pornography has been a major problem in this country since, I'd say, long before 2010. I mean, like, whenever the internet really became popular, which I don't even know when you would really consider. I'd say early 2000s is when the internet started rising. Pornography's been a problem since then. I mean, there has been no check on it since then. And I would say that the drop off has been much more significant in recent years. And there's got to be something else that's causing that.
It's been since probably 96, 97, I would say, when pornography started to proliferate on the internet.
Right. Yeah, but which is what my point is, right? So, like, if it's really started to proliferate to the point now, like, I mean, it's like, I know that every single person that was my age in college definitely had if they wanted access to pornography, they could definitely get it. Okay, like, there's no one around. There was no one my age, and the drop off in men being able to willing and going to speak to women, that is a newer phenomenon, is what my point is. That's a newer thing that is only happening in this current generation, which is something that we don't understand what's caused that yet. I would say that my argument is still that it's the Title IX. Like, if you're in college and you go and approach a girl, that you could be charged with sexual assault for speaking to her or trying to kiss her or something. Like, I mean, like that, I think that has a much larger effect than just the rise of pornography does.
And I agree with you as somebody who just came from college. But my question, Walter, is what is the solution?
What is the solution is that you have to actually let men and women be women and men again. And you can't attack people just for them being in college and being young, trying to interact with each other. That's absurd. You can't do it. And if you continue to do it, and the way that they do this again is that they attack men more than anything else. Like, the war on fraternities, the war on men's actually having men's organizations is a big problem. They've been doing that for a long time. I mean, like, they hate fraternities. They despise them. I mean, which is why my fraternity.
They hate sororities too. They hate sororities too.
They do. I mean, they hate all these organizations. They want everyone to be in the same hodgepodge together. It's ridiculous to me. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But but it's keeping having actual segregated societies actually benefits people. Like it actually does. Like I'm talking about between sexes. Like, I mean, having a women's only dorm is a good thing. Having a men's only dorm is a good thing. Okay, it's not a good thing to have everybody living in co-ed things all together. Having those things be separate is good, but also not attacking people just for going out and trying to have some fun and actually do something and allowing that to happen. And then not only that, promoting it to the point that you tell all the women that it is a 1 in 3 chance that you'll be raped when you're a college student is ridiculous. Again, that's absurd. Okay, like that's just not true at all. No one believes that's true, but they just tell everybody it anyway, and they just produce stats from nowhere. That's what the thing that drives me nuts. It's created from thin air, and they just claim that it's true, and they just tell everybody that's true, and that men are evil, and that you're definitely going to get attacked when you're on campus as a college girl, which is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, of course, that's not going to benefit society at all.
I did post in a poll. I did post in a poll really quick for the room because there's like 300 people in here, plus. If you're in the X spaces, in the red pill, I did ask a question. If you feel social media and algorithms are impacting boys' ability to socialize with girls, I'd be curious to see what the results are on that. Walter, I think you're right. I think it's a combination of things, and I know I had this conversation with my son recently. Literally just a couple of days ago after I saw this clip, because I was like, we got to make sure as fathers and as dads or big brothers or whatever that we're reaching, we're talking to these young dudes about taking care of their body, taking care of themselves, but also socializing, getting out and about. I think it's super important to socialize and meet girls, and whether it's at your job or whatever it is, because now more than ever I think this country is isolated, not just teens, you know but there's some differences there, like virtual school that didn't exist, Philip, when we were in the 90s and 80s, right? And so there's that option here. That you got parents that are working remote in a lot of cases, so they're not even going out socializing or things like that. So I mean, there's just a lot of factors I think that are impacting this generation coming up, this young generation, Jack Tron's generation, and I hope that we begin to just shift it and change it, because I think that's a problem, especially when you start talking about birth rates, right?
Well,
Like
that's what the biggest thing is. Like, we need to figure out how to address these problems, because young men, one of the biggest things about young men is that they crave more than anything is actual meaning. Like actually having a true meaning. Like there's a huge amount of if you look at these polls are stark, really, is that young men have a very strong desire to have families and have children and actually grow families and whatnot, and young women do not. Like, which is crazy. Like that's nuts that we have somehow inverted that. That's bad. Very bad.
I was gonna say it's a complete inversion of, like, I'm literally a decade, like a generation right ahead of you. Like, so I graduated 2000, and all the women wanted to get married, have babies back then. At that time, they were telling us whenever we went to college that 1 in 4 got raped. But I'm literally just a generation ahead of you, and at that time, all the women wanted to do was still kind of, have a they still wanted a successful career, but they wanted to get married and have babies. So the way that it's inverted is crazy. And I'm watching this with my nieces and nephews who are Jacktron's generation. And it is wild to watch, where I'm just like looking at them going, like, when are you going to start dating someone? When are you going to? And they're just like, we just don't do that. And these are all
Yeah,
my
well,
nieces. They're all just like, we just don't do that.
yeah, which is crazy. I mean, like
it's
a huge problem for society if we can't fix this problem. How it got inverted in the first place is crazy. Go ahead, Keymaker.
I mean, one thing is it's an American problem, so that may be one key to the solution.
I wouldn't say it's an American problem. Okay, like all Western countries right now are all below the replacement rate. And then South Korea and Japan, the replacement rate's even lower. It's not an American problem.
The replacement rate's a separate issue. I was talking about the women not wanting to.
I mean, I would argue that replacement rate is directly related to that, so I'm not sure that's entirely true.
I mean, I
just want to say I blame Taylor Swift.
Hey, come on now. You got to give Taylor some credit here. She's talking about having kids and babies with what's his name, okay? Like, that's happening now. So,
Travis
Kelce. Listen, you should go. If you guys haven't seen it yet, you got to go check out all the TikTokers that were freaking out because she was promoting trad wife stuff. Like like it was the funniest 24 hours of news of TikTok streamers screaming, "Oh my God, she's promoting the MAGA agenda. She might want to have children." Like I hope Taylor Swift has like 85 kids with this guy. Like I hope she does, because if she does, like we might actually change like a whole generation of women that all want to have kids again or something. Like I think that would be great. Okay, Keymaker, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, Walter, Chris. Yeah, I've been listening in here. I haven't caught the whole show, but I think you guys are talking about a topic that I like to discuss with people a lot, and that is the youth have somehow been convinced that there's something other to this life than building a family. And I think that maybe there was some intention behind these forces pushing people away from building families. And, one of I mean, that is the key purpose and meaning of life. That's where you get value from. And I know, having started a family later in life, that it wasn't until I actually had a child that I really understood the world for what it really is. Like you kind of get like a better picture of like what this is all about. If not an understanding, but like a more wider vision of like what it means to be a part of like a community and a country and a society, and why it's important not to be detrimental to society. And I think that when you take that away from the youth and you make them wait so long to have a family, that's why we see a lot of this chaos, right? Because I've known so many people that have completely changed from the way that we used to behave when we were younger to after having a child, and and then becoming responsible for another human being, right? Another life that's on this earth. And it kind of just changes your perspective. It gives you motivation. Like I don't know how many jobs I took, and people are like, "Oh, well, isn't that a shit job?" And it's like, "Yeah, but I have, a child to feed. I have medical insurance. I have a future in college to pay for." So I didn't care what the job was, right? So like there's a lot of this discussion about, how people should take these other paths in life. And I'm not saying everybody should immediately just go out, find the right person, and immediately have children, have a family, but I think there should be a lot more discussions on how important it really is to have a family, how important it really is, and that we all of us here that got here, like we all come from a woman, right? Like all of us. There is, until somebody can tell me that there's a different way to get here, right? We all came from a woman to get here. And I try to stress with a lot of the youth now, with a lot of these topics that they get engaged in, they're just not that important. There's topics that are like high level importance, which are things like family and community and society, your country, and then there's lower level discussions. And a lot of it's like an inversion. A lot of these lower nonsensical things are now priority for them, and I don't really know how to reach out to the youth. I know I love talking actually and listening to Jacktron. So but that was kind of my take on that. And yeah, I don't know if you agree completely, Walter, but I really think that the family, I don't know if it was intentionally attacked. I think there are some
Oh,
people
I
that
think it
may have
was listen.
intentionally drove wedges.
I think it
Yeah.
was intentionally attacked. Okay, the nuclear family is one of the most important aspects of all society. So, I definitely think it was intentionally attacked. And I don't think that's even a question to me. But, at the same time, what you're talking about, yes, I think there is an inversion. There's a problem. There's a misalignment with what people think is really important, because the real meaning that people need to get from life does come from family, does come from actually growing a family and having kids and all that. But the other thing is that it connects you to the future. Like that's the most important aspect of it. Like that's why I don't like listening to people like the young commentators if they don't have kids. Like, sorry, I can't listen to someone that doesn't have any children. I don't know why. Like, why would I listen to you? You don't have any investment in the future. You don't. Like, I mean, what do you have? Like, if you want to scream about, if you want to scream about all the problems of the world and how you're going to fix them, but you don't have a kid, like, I'm sorry, like you don't have the same perspective as people who have children that do. Like, you just don't, because you think about it some completely different way. You think about it in the ways with how can it serve me and my interest, rather than how can it serve someone else and their interest, which is what you always do when you have a kid, because you always think about the kid's interest first. Always think about the kid's
Yeah, and
interest
it's
first
one
at
of
the end of the
those
day.
it's one of exactly, and it's one of those things that really, I mean, you said it best, right? Like it ties you into your concern for the future much deeper than just your own life, right? Because now this is an extension past your life, right? Like hopefully, your kids, live a long and healthy life, and they have children, and you're able to see grandchildren. And other than that, like I don't understand what people think we're here for.
Well, I
Right?
mean,
Like I
it's
don't
but
think
it's
I don't
the other.
even know if that gets to the question,
Well, I mean,
like
but the other side of
it
the
gets
kid,
philosophical,
it
but
does. But I mean, but the biggest part about it is like the moment that you have a kid born, the moment your child's born, for me, I mean, I can tell you exactly what happened when my first child was born, when Carly was born. The first second that she was born, the entire life of that kid flashes in front of you, and you think about it, and you go, 18 years of having this kid around. Where will I be? What's that kid going to be like? That's what I thought about. I mean, like, that's instantaneous for me. It happens the second that the child is born. You instantly look like most people, when you think about your world and everything around you, you just think three, maybe if you think about it hard, maybe think 3 to 5 years in the future is probably about the farthest most people can do. But once you get outside of 5 years, it's very difficult to predict life outside of that. But once you have a kid, that's the only time that you can have 18 years instantly show up in your mind. Instantaneously, you can see 18 years into the future. That's what you can see. And you can think about the many different paths that could happen during those 18 years, but you can think that far into the future. And that's why it connects you to the ground. That's why it connects you to the future of the country. That's why it connects you to the future of your child, because there's no other way to think about it. You can't see that until you have something else that matters so much to you that you can see 20 years into the future from one look at it. I mean, that's what having a kid does. That's what people don't understand about it. The people that
yeah.
don't have children don't know that the moment that your child is born, you then sit there and think about the first time they get a car, the first time they go together on their first date, their prom, the way they graduate from college, who they're going to marry. All of those things go through your head. At 1 second old, that happens. That's what people don't seem to understand. When you don't have children, you can't grasp the fact that you're already thinking 20 years in the future. That's what most people don't understand when you don't have kids. That's why it matters so much. That's why it's so important for you to have children, because it instantly changes the way that you do everything. Everything about your life changes the moment you have a kid, because you have to think that far in the future. And if you don't, then it just doesn't work.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too. Like I have some friends that are thinking about having family. They're younger. They're in their mid 20s, and they're like, they're discussing it, and even their wives will come to me, and they'll have questions about, how it was raising a child, especially in these circumstances of the world today. That's a lot of what the problems come about. Some people, they start to get negative, and they start to think about all of the problems. And I tell them, the moment that your child runs to you that first time, or the first steps, it's one of those things that are indescribable. You must experience it, and there's no way to really tell people the joy that you get from having a child. And it's like one of those things, I think, that people can intrinsically try and value and say, yeah, I could see that would be enjoyable. But until you have that moment, you don't understand like how actually special it is. And I think that as parents, anybody that's a parent, I think, has just a completely different outlook on life, a completely different view of the world and the way that things work. And a lot of times that's why usually when you're younger, you're not too involved in politics and stuff like that, because to you, really, you're not that connected. You're a little bit less connected. And that's where I see a lot of the interest kind of diverges, because it's like, when you have these different paradigms where people are thinking about life in one path, with their circumstances, compared to people that are parents, it starts to get where you do have, divergence of what people think the
Key
future should
Baker,
look like.
you're rubber banding badly, buddy. You're rubber banding badly, but you're right.
Well,
I mean, generally you're right. And Chris, you can go ahead, but we need to shut down, guys. We are
yeah,
over
I know we're
time.
gonna shut
So
down. I just want to say this, not to get too deep here, but when um when I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, the first image that went through my mind was my daughter turning 16, my daughter growing up and getting married, like all of those things, right? And so people, I don't want to ever want anybody to be in that situation, of course, but it is a freaking blessing to have kids. In fact, I would argue, similar to what Elon argues, it's your patriotic duty to have children for the United States of America to thrive and to be a place where freedom reigns. And it's also a duty to your lineage, to your family lineage, that and to your name, that
you know,
100 years from now, people can look back and say, man, that guy fought for freedom. That guy was in the greatest country on planet Earth.
You know, I'll close this out on this comment here, Chris, because you made me think of something that I've said before on the idea of when you say that you don't want to have children, you are so disrespectful if you say that sort of thing. And I'll tell you why I think that is. You are disrespecting the tens of thousands of years of lineage that allowed you to exist in the first place. You useless cretin. I don't want to have children. I'm not going to have kids. What? It's just so hard. It's so hard. The cavemen that fought saber-toothed tigers so that you could exist are laughing at you. Seriously, if you think about it, how many generations of people did it take for you to get here? And you're like, oh, it's expensive. Shut up. Shut up. It's such a stupid argument. Such a stupid, oh my God, life is so impossible to do now. Listen to me. We live in the richest and most successful country that has ever existed in history. And you're sitting there saying that it's just too difficult. Oh my goodness. What? You want someone to rub your feet at night too? Shut the hell up. Just suck it up, because it's such a disrespectful thing to your ancestors, to your lineage, to everything about society that managed you to let your useless existence exist in the first place. Your own parents, you're just going to disrespect them and not continue their bloodline. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is disrespectful. It is a complete waste of it. I agree with you. It's your duty to have children. And it's supposed to, the only thing that matters in society is continuing human society forward. We only live 60 to 80 years, okay? After that, you're dead. And the only way that you're going to be able to continue life after that is your children. That's it. So if you don't have any kids, this is one thing I will say about leftist ideology. I had this argument a few years ago with a friend of mine, good friend of mine. She's a nice girl, very liberal, very, very, very liberal, doesn't want to have children. And they were trying to argue with me about demographics changing. They were saying, well, demographics changing, everyone's going to end up being more liberal. And I said, no, they're not. And he said, well, yes, they are. Of course they are. Eventually, everyone's going to be significantly more liberal. That's just how demographics are going to move, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, well, that's just not true, because are you having kids? No. Are any of your friends having kids? No. Okay, well, then you're all going to die in 60 years, and your entire ideology will die with you. But they didn't think about that. She was immediately blown away by that comment. Had no concept of it. Whoa, wait a minute. We're all going to die. Yeah, you are. You're all going to die, and your ideology is going to die with you. And the only people that are going to continue are the people that have lots of kids. Okay, so conservative Catholic families have lots of kids. Conservative Christian families have lots of kids. A lot of the Hispanic cultures that have Catholic families have lots of kids. Those cultures are going to continue. Your leftist ideology, where no one has any children and you're all sterile, you are all going to die. Okay, whether you like it or not, that's just how it's going to work. And the only way that this is actually why they focus on schools, by the way, because the only way that they can continue their ideology, if they're all going to die and they're not going to have any children, is that they have to get it from someone else's kids. It's like a virus. It really is that bad. But I don't need to. I've actually written extensively on this. I can talk about it another night. But the idea is very simple: is that your ideology will die with you if you don't have children. So the leftist ideology, it's a self-flagellating ideology. It's going to kill itself, and it will. In 60 years, if they don't have any kids, in 60 years, they're all going to be dead. And that's just the reality of it. Guys, this is the Political Theater. Thank you guys for showing up this evening. Make sure you guys check out WCDispatch.com. Make sure you guys follow myself, Chris, Jacktron, all my speakers up here. I have a bunch of really good speakers up here this evening. Make sure you subscribe to our content. You can definitely follow us and go to @WCDispatch.com. And then you can go to MI@ here on X and subscribe to me directly on X, or you can subscribe on WCDispatch.com. We will be back Monday night for more of the Political Theater. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We will see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.
Some folks are born with a liberty spark. Their hearts beat red, white, and blue. When the anchors sneer and the cameras bark, they turn the lens right back at you. Truth bound, ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not the party line sons, no, we ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so some folks inherit silk-lined halls, spend our sweat while preaching share. But when the tax man wraps his knuckles raw, their mansions suddenly look bare, impaired. ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're not their banker raised hares, no, ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're the vigilant ones, so. Yeah, some paint stars on press room lies and send the common men to toil. Ask them, how much truth will you trade tonight? They mutter, more noise, more noise, more noise. Ain't for sale, ain't for sale. Not the theater's pawn's friend. It ain't for sale, ain't for sale. We're America's steadfast one. No, we won't be spun.